Good morning. Good morning. We are back. MLB Trade Deadline, and Brian Cashman maybe trying to pull off some magic, or another one bites the dust.
What are your thoughts when facing an opponent?
There is no opponent
And why is that?
because the word does not exist.
Good morning, Yankees universe, and welcome back to another episode of the Yankees Morning Brew on this Monday, August 3rd. Like always, I'm your guy Hector, joined by my main man, Pots and Pan, the 8th Avenue. Ace, how you feeling this morning, broski?
I'm doing good, man. Glad to be here. Today is a big day for Brian Cashman and company. We're definitely going to need them to have a good day today as we are 7 hours away from the deadline. 6 o'clock
Just
deadline. About a little less than 7 hours from the deadline. But yeah, we're definitely going to need them to come through, and they've already started doing some stuff. And we're here to talk about it. Heck, how you living, my guy?
I'm feeling good. T minus 5 hours or 6 hours and 54 minutes, depending on where you live at. But 6 p.m. trade deadline. I'm feeling good. The Yankees, they're making moves here or there. Camilo Duvall is gone. He's in Pittsburgh. I know a lot of Yankee fans, Grace Monroe especially, is excited for that. But everybody that's in the chat, we got over 140 people tuning into the show through like literally 2 minutes in because everybody is excited about the MLB trade deadline. So let's shout out. Let's do a little bit of roll call before we get into it. We got our guy Theo Nosebleed section in the building. Hello from Greece. I can't join when the show starts, so I come in early to post. Nosebleed, we appreciate you. Shout out to you. Our good friend Hector is in the building. Shout out to Heck. Mitakayo. Salute. Jonathan, Mr. Do Your Job is in the building. John, the Beagle Dad is here. Senora Buck Skull Gang is in the building. Buck Skull Gang, how you doing? Salute. 3 capital S's. Miguel Salvador is here in the building. Our good friend Evan and the Pinstripe Bugle is here. How you doing? Mr. Drew Nasty is in the building. Drew So Nasty, how you doing? And of course, our good friend Eddie Snaps and David Cohen is in the building. And David put it right there. What up, fellas? Get me Adley Rutschman. We're gonna talk about the Adley Rutschman conversation because it's picking up. It started picking up last night. Let's see what happens with it. We'll point to some tweets that are out there, but we got to start with the first one, and that's the Yankees acquiring Luis García Jr. from the Washington Nationals. Jack Curry put it out there on Twitter that the Yankees view Luis Garcia as a first baseman or a DH option versus right-handed pitching. He leads the National League with a 560 slugging percentage. He's pulling baseballs in the art of like 18.5%, a career high percentage, and a nice fit at Yankee Stadium. Ace, initially, what was your thoughts when we got this trade? Because I don't think any Yankee content creator or any journalist out there had him as a number one option for the Yankees.
No, definitely not. Definitely not number one option. If you say you did, you're out here lying to the people
You're
on
lying.
YouTube. Like, don't be out here lying to YouTube. It was a move that I didn't think was on anybody's radar because, for once again, this is more of what we have as far as position wise. Now he is a major upgrade offensively, no doubt. But it's just my first thought was, where is he going to play? Then the reports came out that said they're going to platoon him. So yet again, he fits in perfectly over here. We have 3 first baseman / DHs on this team. Now he does have experience playing second base and shortstop, but he has not played that this year. So yet again, my first thought was, where's the fit? Offensively, we could definitely need somebody like this, but he's gonna bring that bat that we need. Don't think this is gonna be the only move. As time started going on, I started liking the move a little bit more because offensively, what he brings to the table, especially if you're gonna be putting Rice more at DH and platooning him at Goldie, because Paul Goldschmidt, let's face it, he was great for us early on, but it looks like Father Time is catching up to our guy Goldie. It really does. Goldie's looked bad. He went through a really bad stretch where I think he was like 0 for 30.
Yeah.
And at bats, his worst stretch of his career. Defensively, nothing to write home about when it comes to Luis Garcia Jr. No one's going to be talking about his defensive highlights, but it's the bat that is what pretty much brought him to the Bronx at the end of the day. It's just another guy that Boone, we talk about all the time, the Boone platooning. It's just another guy that it's going to be up to Boone to kind of utilize these guys on when you're going to do it. He's a guy that's under control for the next couple of years. He's 26 years old. Maybe during the offseason is something we could talk about. Maybe he could be the future second baseman of the team, but that's something to talk about in the offseason if they don't bring back Jazz. Obviously, Arias is out there. Arias did just get traded to Philadelphia. He could be somebody Yankees try to look at maybe during offseason as well. But it's the fact that, it's options for this team, and it's a bat that we desperately needed. I know my guy Li Yankee King is hating this move, but this move might signify to me that Giancarlo Stanton might be out the door, which is what Li's been wanting for a while. But for any Yankee fan that's complaining about this, we gave up nothing. I love Giovanni Cruz. Heck, you've heard me, preach Giovanni Cruz for the longest. That hurt, but we also got rid of Jake Bird in the deal. You gave up 4 pitchers to bring in a bat here that we desperately need because this offense has been terrible. How many low-scoring games have we been winning lately? A lot. We barely won in yesterday's ball game. We need a bat like him in the middle of this lineup. And for everybody that's bitching and complaining, like, the Yankees don't got a bat. Yankees don't got a bat. Now we got a bat, and you're complaining about it.
Yeah, I will still see Ben Rice getting more reps at first base. If you look at the baseball savant numbers and the metrics, Ben Rice is a better defensive first baseman than Luis García Jr. And I'm not trying to downplay Luis Garcia, but when you look at his defensive stats, he's not good at second base either. He's most likely going to be a full-time DH, platooning at first base here or there, giving Ben Rice a day off. They talked about Paul Goldschmidt and Luis Garcia Jr. platooning. I can see Luis Garcia, even though he has been bad this season against left-handed pitching, getting some at bats against lefties to see if he could get comfortable. When you look at Paul Goldschmidt's stats over his last, how many games is this? 3, 6. Over his last 10 games, he has 7 hits and 35 at bats. But you point out how far the battle of attrition was starting to get to Paul Goldschmidt. And I do apologize if there's an echo in the background. We're still waiting for some furniture to come in so we could not have that echo in the background. But when you look at it, Luis Garcia Jr., offensively this season immediately becomes your second best bat in your lineup. Defensively, he's not going to give you much, but when you look at his offensive numbers, he provides you something that the Yankees have been desperately missing, and that's stump in the lineup without Aaron Judge. When Aaron Judge went out, the Yankees still had the number 1 offense in all of baseball. We've fallen down to around 5 or 6. And over the past 10 games, if the Yankees don't score or if the Yankees pitchers give up more than 2 runs, you're looking at a loss, right? So adding that type of offense to the lineup is something that Brian Cashman was able to do without giving much. Like you said, we gave up Jake Bird. Yeah, Cruz is somebody that a lot of Yankee fans, ourselves, we wanted to see up here. But if you could get off of Jake Bird, if you give up Cruz, you're not even giving up any top 10 prospects. I think that was a good move by the Yankees. And when it comes to Luis Garcia Jr., this reminds me when the Yankees added in 2019 Edwin Encarnacion, who was also first base DH when Giancarlo Stanton and Aaron Judge was both out in the lineup missing significant time. We was having the same conversation. Where is he going to play when all these other guys come back? That's a conversation you wait for then. But if you was able to upgrade your team by not giving up much, I think it's a solid move for Brian Cashman.
Yeah, absolutely. For everybody that's complaining about it, like it's a move that no one saw coming. Doesn't mean that they can't upgrade other places. You're hearing Adley Rutschman's name being out there. As far as bullpen, you're hearing Adrian Morejon's name is being thrown out there as well. That report that came out last night apparently was false. About them rejecting the Will Warren trade or whatever. So that kind of got nipped in the bud. Adrian Morejon is a guy. If you give me Luis Garcia Jr., it's a move that tells me Stanton's probably not coming back. Li Yankee King is butt hurt right now because he thinks it's going to take away from Ben Rice. It's really going to take away from Paul Goldschmidt at the end of the day. You're going to be DHing and first and switching off with them at DH and first base, which is what Goldie's been doing.
I'm gonna just say this real quick. Li, please be respectful in the chat. Because if not, you could get the fucking boot and you could get blocked from the chat. I'm not gonna have this today. We're having a conversation, and I did not say we did not give up nothing. I literally said we gave up Cruz, but we didn't give up any top 10 prospects. So Li, I respectfully ask you to be respectful in the chat. If not, I will kick your ass the fuck out. Respectfully.
But if you get Garcia Jr. and let's say you go ahead and pair that with Adley Rutschman and go get me an Adrian Morejon, this team is better. And it's also better with addition by subtraction. You got rid of guys like Camilo Duvall. You got rid of guys like Jake Bird. Two guys that were the problem in this bullpen are no longer here. And also shout out to Camilo Duvall for, doing what he does best over there in his debut with Pittsburgh, giving up a home run. They feel our pain. Jake Bird out of here. But you go get me a guy like Adrian Morejon, who is not a project piece, and he's a guy that is already proven. It makes this team a lot better. When it comes to, because everybody wants that splash pick. What splash move is there out there to make this year?
No.
What move is there?
No.
Tariq Skubal wasn't a realistic possibility for the Yankees. I never thought that, so I wasn't upset when he went to the Dodgers. Also, let's talk about that a little bit later too. We can talk about that effect on baseball. But what sexy move is there out there? And I've talked about it all year long. The Yankees, when healthy, don't need the big move. They need the right move. You bring it in a bat like Garcia. I would have loved to get Luis Arias. That's not the case. We talked about that. Hector, you were a fan of him all year. You've been talking about it. That didn't happen. You got yourself a bat in Luis Garcia Jr. You go get Adley Rutschman. You go get another pitcher, and then you call up George Lombard Jr., and I think this team could be good to go.
Yeah. Shout out to Jacob Petruzzi. Sorry that I didn't see the super chat earlier, but Jacob Petruzzi, my man, pots and pans with the $2 super chat, helping us keep the lights on. What up, fam? Smoke with Adley. San Diego rejected Warren. Yeah, there's some smoke with Adley Rutschman. I don't think I gotta go with John Boy, and how a lot of the other beat writers were reporting that report last night from the Yankees are offering Will Warren and San Diego rejected it apparently wasn't true. If it was true, kudos on the Yankees for trying to pull something out when it comes to trying to upgrade their bullpen, offering up Will Warren. Maybe they could add some extra pieces to entice San Diego. But if it's not true, if it is true, I'm okay with seeing Brian Cashman trying to trade from some of his major league depth. It's just I'm not going to poo-poo Cashman when other teams aren't willing to trade with us. Let's talk about the Tariq Skubal deal. I bring it up right now. A lot of people are saying the rich are getting richer. How do they keep on getting away with it? And when you look at Tariq Skubal, the Yankees were not. And correct me if I'm wrong, if you think I'm off base with this. Also, too, everybody in the chat, let me know what's your feelings when it comes to this. I appreciate everybody that's in the chat. Chat guidelines, no hate speech or bullying will be tolerated. If you violate the YouTube terms and services or our guidelines, you will be removed from the chat without warning. This is intended to be a safe space to talk baseball and have good conversations. Shout out to my lovely girlfriend, Alex Campos, that is in the chat. The New York Yankees were not Tariq Skubal away from winning a World Series, right? When you look at our Yankees, when you look at our weaknesses, our starting rotation is not a weakness. I'm willing to trade our top prospects like a George Lombard Jr., a Dax Kelby, some of our top pitching prospects as well, if the return makes sense, if it's something that you could stamp and say, you know what, that takes the Yankees over the hump. Now, Ace, I would be upset if, let's say, if Juan Soto was available and the Yankees decided we're not trading George Lombard Jr. for Juan Soto. Then I would be upset, right? Regardless of if he fits our team position-wise, that type of bat, if it became available and the Yankees said, no, we're not going to trade our top prospects for that bat, then that's when I would be a little bit upset. But because it was a starting pitcher and because we aren't lacking when it comes to top starting pitcher, I'm okay with the Yankees not trading George Lombard up for Skubal. How you feel about that?
Yeah, I'm right there with you. What they got, let's put it like this. It's easy to sit here and say the Tigers got fleeced because they did. But it's just like Tigers realistically should have probably waited till today and they could have probably got a better offer. But there weren't teams like us that were in the mix, like better farm teams with more like I could agree with this when it comes to LI. Yankees don't have an elite farm system, but when it comes to Tariq Skubal, I was looking at teams like Milwaukee, who's number 1, the Pirates, who are number 3. You guys couldn't offer up a better package than what the Dodgers just got. And I'm not even mad at the Dodgers for getting Tariq Skubal. They're doing what you're supposed to do. Other teams aren't going all in. The Dodgers are going all in. They're doing what we used to do. But to give up a guy like George Lombard Jr., you got to get me something that's gonna be more of a position player if you're gonna give him up. Same thing with guys like Jason Dominguez and guys like Spencer Jones. The Yankees have already come out and said there's only a select few guys they would trade them for. There's nobody that's gonna be available in this draft. I mean, in this trade deadline that you're gonna give up guys like that for. So you're gonna be able to get an opportunity to see them raking up here. George Lombard Jr., call him up now. This kid is killing it right now. What's stopping you from calling him up here? Because you're trying to manipulate service time? Get out of here with that stuff. It's the same thing with people like, that Eli's fixated in the chat. What about next year? I'm not worried about next year. I'm worried about this year. I don't give a damn about no service time. If he comes up here and he can help contribute to this team winning now, this is what we need, because we don't even know if we're going to have baseball next year. Chances are we're probably not. So I'm not worried about next year. I'm worried about August, September, and October, these last 3 months of baseball. We have to make this team better right now. Tariq Skubal would have been making a strength even stronger, but what's that going to do when we're out there losing 2-1? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Like, all it takes, we've seen Garrett Cole dominate, but in a couple of starts, but then all of a sudden he makes one mistake and we're losing the ball game. Same thing with Max Fried. We lose Cam starts where we have 4-0 lead because the offense isn't sustainable. Our offense gives us one good inning out of 9, and that's it. This is why you had to go out and get a bat like Luis García Jr., one of the best sluggers in the NL. I don't see how people are complaining about that. Like, you gave up nothing for it. Like I love Giovanni Cruz. I really did. And he looked good up here. But you know what? If it's going to give us a guy with offensive productivity, hey, appreciate you, dog. Like, for real. But you can't stop there, though. You need a catcher at the end of the day. That should be the number one priority today. Catcher. I'm okay with George Lombard Jr. being called up at shortstop, and if you're going to keep McMahon at third, sure, his offense stinks, but that's one hole. But defensively, he brings you a lot to the table. But catcher needs to be the priority today.
I just put a poll in the chat for everybody to interact with. Basically, I made it simple for you guys. Grade the Luis Garcia trade for the Yankees. A, B, C, or D. It's pretty simple. Put your grade down in the comment section. And as well, if you guys can, hit that like button. We're sitting over 500 people watching us collectively, 40 on YouTube. We're sitting at 17 likes. If you guys can, tap that like button. Let's try to get as close to 50 likes on the stream. When it comes to subscribers, we're at 5,875. Make sure you guys comment in the chat. Let us know what's your thoughts. If you want the Yankees to go after any specific players, put it in the comment section. We'll highlight it. If you have a super chat, $1, $2, $3, it does go a long way. Now, Ace, I saw a lot of chatter with people getting upset that, the Dodgers, they traded their 5th best prospect and their 12th best prospect and their 15th in order to get this done. How are the Dodgers robbing Major League Baseball and ruining the game? What's upsetting about the whole Dodger conversation? We could talk about the owner, and I can't stand the owner because of a lot of off the field stuff, but this takes away from, and Li put it in the chat, this is what happens when you have an elite farm system. And what's being taken away from this is how great the Dodgers farm system and development is. Like, the Dodgers are able to get prospects from the Yankees system that we threw in for Caleb Ferguson that wasn't even the top 30. And now that guy is the top pitching prospect for the Dodgers. Like, we need to highlight and praise how the Dodgers are able to build it, trade away their prospects, develop players, and add superstar players like a Tariq Skubal. Again, if you don't like the Dodgers because you think they're ruining baseball, just know this. They traded away their 5th prospect. George Lombard Jr., if he was in the Dodgers system, he would be their 4th best prospect in their system. He is the number 1 prospect for the Yankees. They traded away their 13th prospect, which was 68 in all of Major League Baseball, top 100. After George Lombard, Carlos Lagrange is 78 in Major League Baseball. So that's like if the Yankees were to trade George Lombard Jr. and Carlos Lagrange. Those are the 2 top prospects going in a trade for Tariq Skubal, but the Yankees didn't want to do it. And when you look at it, the number 1 prospect in our farm system may be the number 5th or maybe the number 4th in another team farm system. When you look at the Dodgers, they have 3 top 100. They have 3 top 20 prospects in all of Major League Baseball. The Yankees have 1 top 20 prospect, and that's George Lombard Jr.
Yeah, and that's what happens when you're a well-run organization. Look, I'm not mad at the Dodgers.
Same.
They basically flipped Michael Bush, who played 1 year for them, for the prospect that they ended up getting and ended up turning into Tariq Skubal. That's a well-run organization right there. I'm not mad at the Dodgers. and neither should you guys. Like,
No.
and fans are going to try to villainize the Dodgers for being out there and being competitive. You know who you should be mad at? The owners. You really
Speak
should
on
be
it.
mad at.
I said, speak on it.
Yeah, you really should be mad at the owners because the Brewers could have put together a better package. They have the #1 farm system in the league. They chose not to. The Pirates, #3. They probably could have still put up a better package than this. But it's the fact that the Dodgers, even for a rental, gave up a package because they know at the end of the day that they probably have a good chance of signing Tariq Skubal. It's these owners that don't want to go out there and spend, that are crying poverty, that want to sit here and say, oh, we don't want to go all in, especially with a lockout looming. Like the Dodgers, like, okay, if y'all don't want to win, we'll win. It's as simple as that. Like, y'all can sit here and watch us go ahead and three-peat. The Yankees are in that conversation as well. Let's not get it twisted. But for the owners to sit here and just cry poverty, they don't want to spend. And the people that are talking about conspiracy theories, like, this happened. Tiger sold it to him because, deep down inside, Rob Manfred wants the Dodgers to win so that way they can say, see, we need a salary cap. The salary cap is bullshit. The Mets, #1 payroll in the league, where are they at? They stink. The Rays, look at their payroll. One of the best teams, the best team in the AL, one of the best teams in the league. So don't get that stuff twisted. That's the narrative they are going to try to sell you, that the Dodgers are the villains, but they're operating within the rules and doing what it takes to win and operating as the evil empire like the Yankees used to be. I'm not mad at the Dodgers. I'm jealous of the Dodgers.
Yeah, 100% jealous of the Dodgers. And then when you look at the Blue Jays, look at what the Blue Jays did. The Blue Jays, they're out of it, but they're still trying to hang in there when it comes to the wild card. They traded Kevin Gausman, right, to Seattle. I believe they traded Kevin Gausman. Everybody was saying that signals that the Blue Jays are out of it. But then they put a trade package together for Soriano, the starting pitcher from the Los Angeles Angels, one of the promising young starting pitchers in baseball, who's 27 years old, who has about 3 years left of control on his contract. That's a good organization. Trading away a starting pitcher that's making money for a younger starting pitcher with controllable years, that's a sign of a good organization. Regardless of what the Blue Jays did this season, that's a good move that your GM made at the trade deadline.
Yeah. And to the people out there, like somebody said in the chat, I think it was Drew Nasty, teams can't compete with what the Dodgers spend, but certain teams can. You're giving up prospects to bring in Tariq Skubal. Now, it's not guaranteed you can sign it, but let's say Milwaukee goes out there and pairs him with the Miz. That gives you a good shot at performing well in the playoffs, and you worry about next year. Why is everybody so concerned about next year? We might not even have fucking baseball next year. Worry about winning it now, because that's what the Dodgers are doing. The Dodgers aren't sitting here saying, you know what, next year would look really good. They're sitting here trying to stack the deck and win as many as possible. That's why they're back-to-back champions.
Yeah. And again, the Dodgers fan base, they went through pain in order to get here. Like, they had people weren't showing up to the games. Look at Dodger games in 2010, 2011, when Andre Ethier and Matt Kemp was on the team, when Matt Kemp was an MVP candidate in Major League Baseball. They hardly had people in the stands. It was worse than what it is in Queens. So when it comes to the Dodgers, like Ace said, you shouldn't be mad at the Dodgers. You need to be mad at your ownership. You need to be mad at your team not going out there and getting that player. Because like Ace said, the Brewers, they have the prospects. They have the prospects in order to put it off. They just didn't feel comfortable, and that allowed the Dodgers to put together a lesser package in order to get that trade done. I just wanted to point something out also. Because New York Yankees stats put this out there when it comes to Luis García Jr. Luis García Jr. had the biggest increase in OPS from 2025 to 2026, and a minimum of 500 plate appearances. Luis Garcia is OPS jumped from 701 to 873. And then look at the players that are on that list: CJ Abrams, Otto Lopez, Picro Armstrong, and Wilson Contreras.
Yeah. And this is a guy that's now in the New York Yankees. We need whatever offense can come our way, because our offense has been offensive this year, dude. Especially once Aaron Judge has been gone.
The offense has been offensive this year.
So that shit is it's been ridiculous, man. Our offense is putrid. But it can't stop there. This can't just be the move. And this is why, we have to be somewhat patient and wait to the 6 o'clock deadline, because I just saw that John said the Braves acquired somebody from the Angels. what's it called? Yeah, it's one of these moves where it's like you have to. This is good if you're able to make other moves, but if this is the only move, then that's a different. Then that's a different conversation.
I want to ask you, because I saw people online again, obviously beating up on Brian Cashman. The Brian Cashman sleeping memes have been circulating online. Will Salmon of the Athletics, he put this out there. The Yankees' inactivity before Monday's trade deadline might make fans anxious, but it also means that the general manager Brian Cashman and his crew, they still have their cards to play, and some are substantial. Are Yankee fans too critical of Brian Cashman when it comes to roster moves or moves that he didn't make or did make? Because he's trying to improve the team. It's just, I don't want to sound like a homer and somebody that's just holding the umbrella for the corporation, but I can't fault Brian Cashman if other GMs and other teams don't want to trade with him.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I'm not part of the coalition of the Cashman coalition. I want him gone. But I have to be fair at the end of the day. It takes two to tango. And because of our farm system is not good. Teams have better packages. So just because the Yankees don't, let's be fair, just because the Yankees don't pull on a move or whatever doesn't mean that they didn't try, but it just sucks that we're in this position to begin with. And there is such thing as a Yankee tax. There is. Earlier in the year, they were talking about it. What it would have took, and I think it was I forget, I think it might have been MLB or that posted it. Talking about the proposed trade of what it would have took to get Scuba in the beginning of the year as opposed to now. And they were talking about the Yankees. It would have took Cam, it would have took Ben Rice, it would have took George Lombard Jr. That's how the conversations start. There is such thing as a Yankee tax. People that tell you differently, I'm like, I definitely don't. What are you watching? Because it's definitely, especially if you're going to make a trade for Adley Rutschman, who's in the division, it's definitely going to cost you a Yankee tax and a division tax.
I want to ask you, because you brought up the article that came out, and I wanted to reference the same article of like what they were asking for in January. And if the Yankees would have traded Ben Rice, Cam Slittler, George Lombard Jr., and Carlos Lagrange for Tariq Skubal, and Tariq Skubal had surgery at the beginning of the season, Yankee fans would have been at the front gate, would have been killing Brian Cashman for making that move. So it's like, damn if you don't, damn if you do. Now, hindsight is 50-50 when you look at prospects that you were hugging: Anthony Volpe, Austin Wells, Clint Frazier, Miguel Andujar. None of those prospects lived up to the billing or lived up to the goods that fans were sold. So hindsight 50-50 when you look at those players not getting traded, of course fans are going to be upset. But again, I go back to the article that came out that back in 2012 or 2013, the Yankees were about to trade Aaron Judge to the Atlanta Braves. And if the Yankees would have traded him to the Atlanta Braves, fans would have been losing their minds seeing what Aaron Judge did in Atlanta instead of doing it in the Bronx.
Exactly. Like our friend Delulu just said, friend of the channel, shout out to Delulu, Yankee fan. He makes a good point. He said, I've seen Cashman make a ton of trades that in theory should elevate this team in the past, but players get here and absolutely tank once they get under the bright lights. Yeah. We just saw two pitchers that did the same thing, Camilo Duvall and Jake Bird this year. Like, it looked good. Last year was a different story. Bird got sent down immediately. How are those trades looking now? And let's not sit here and act like we all weren't hyped when it happened. Because when they got Camilo Duvall, we were all excited. Right before the buzzer rang, we were all excited. I was excited about Jake Bird because at one point in time last year, he was leading the league in strikeouts for a reliever. So I was like, go get, passion project, go get Jake Bird. And it didn't pan out. Guys absolutely have to pan out here, but it's part of the Yankee development as well. Guys got to get here, and the Yankees have to continue their development. They just can't sit back and think they're going to fall into the Yankee philosophy. You can't go get a Luis Arias and say, okay, man, go hit his 20 home runs. That's not his skill set. That's not his skill set at all. But at the same time, too, sometimes it is about roster construction, because, like, I can criticize Cashman for some of the moves he makes that doesn't pan out, but you're over relying on the deadline when you should have made more moves in the offseason so you could just fine tune the team at the deadline. But this team has a lot of holes that you're not going to be able to fix in one day.
Yeah. And also, too, it's easy for us fans to want to be GMs and think we can construct a better team than the people that are in charge. But I'm actually right now, San Diego is desperately trying to get from under Manny Machado's contract. And Yankee fans wanted Manny Machado as a New York Yankee to be at third baseman. Manny Machado is barely hitting 210 this season. I know he has 23 home runs, but when you look at his contract, his contract, he's making this season 31 million. Next year, he's making 31 million until the age 40 over the next 7-8 years.
Mm-hmm.
We are about to get from underneath the Giancarlo Stanton contract.
Yeah.
You don't think Yankee fans would have been bitching and complaining about Manny Machado and him not coming through in the clutch, him hitting only 210?
Yeah, but you know, it's just one of those things we just never know what could have happened here, and like it's circumstantial at the end of the day. We have to make this team better, and it's the last chance to make this team better. At 6:00, it stops. There is no making this team better outside of calling up a George Lombard Jr. to play him at shortstop. But I feel like when healthy, it's a big and if healthy, it's a big if, obviously, because you're missing Aaron Judge, you're missing Cody Bellinger. These guys are coming back. Spencer Jones been playing well as of late. You're gonna need the right moves instead of like the big moves. There is no big move to be made out here, so Cashman is gonna have to get very creative.
Guys in the chat, if you guys can, we are over 51 people on YouTube, 630 altogether. If you guys can, hit that like button and hit that subscribe button. And the question now, I'll ask you, Ace, when you look at Luis Garcia and his numbers, fantastic, leading the National League in slugging. My big question is, can those numbers from a Washington National team that were borderline last place in the National League East, will those numbers translate over to the Bronx? A team that's in a playoff contention, do those same numbers that he was putting up in Washington, does that translate to the Bronx and the pennant race? And that's a question that we all have to sit back and wait and see, because we've seen Brian Cashman add an Andrew Benintendi, who was leading the American League in batting average, something that the Yankees were lacking at that trade deadline. Almost every Yankee fan thought that was a brilliant trade from Brian Cashman. You gave up nothing. You got the number one batting average in the American League to lead off, to be the top hitter, to be the table setter in our lineup. And what happened? The second half of the season, he had the second worst batting average in baseball.
Yeah, I'm telling you this, it better work out, because if not, we're screwed. Especially if we don't know. I'm hoping this like isn't a move. It's all going to depend on what's going to happen with Aaron Judge. If we get the news that Judge is gone, but these are the moves that you make, it's like it's not going to look good for him. There's nothing you can do to overcome the injury of Aaron Judge. But can he translate? I like to think so. The Nationals, team that kind of had ups and downs, but they got a lot of hitters over there. Offensively, they're really good offensively there. The reason why they're in the position they're at, because they got the worst bullpen in baseball. Over here, it's a different story. Our bullpen is one of the best in baseball. So I definitely think he can help contribute. Let's put it like this. Heck, it can't get any worse.
No.
Can it get any worse? Look at what Austin Wells is doing. Look at what Trent Grisham's doing. Look at what Volpe's doing. McMahon's doing. Jazz is doing. Can it get worse? No, I don't think so. And if it does, we're screwed either way.
The reports started coming out yesterday around Adley Rutschman, and the packages that were being thrown out were packages that you and we discussed on the last show. Will Warren, Luis Hill. You brought up Luis Hill. I brought up Will Warren. Just because the Yankees and the Orioles are negotiating or having conversation, one, it does not mean that the trade is going to happen. Would I like that move to happen? Absolutely, 100%. I want to ask you, Ace, what do you think is the reality that the Baltimore Orioles trade Adley Rutschman to the Yankees? And after the reality, what's your package that you're giving up, or would be comfortable giving up?
I'd be comfortable shipping either Weathers or Warren to start. It's gonna take at least one of the top 100 prospects that we have of the 5. I think it's probably gonna take like an ERC. I could see a package of Will Warren, ERC, and some other close to being ready type prospects. I don't think it's going to take 2 top 100 prospects to get them. If they did, I think the Yankees probably would have overpaid for them. But, our top 100, isn't as good as other people's top 100. No. And that's what you have to realize. Bryce Cunningham, I can see being thrown in the deal as well. It's just one of those things where you're gonna have to make it. You're gonna have to make, and it's gonna hurt. I would hate to lose ERC. You and I both would hate to lose ERC.
Same.
Like 22-year-old prospect. 22-year-old guy that we've seen throw in the league, and more importantly,
I was about to say that's the most important
was-
part of it.
that's
That's
what
the most
hurt the
important
most.
part of it.
yeah. So, they ain't know. I don't know if there's good Puerto Rican food in Baltimore like that. You know, I know there's some in New York, but I don't know about Baltimore. But it's gonna hurt. But that's the thing, though. Look, the best trades are the ones where everybody feels like they got screwed over. You got to give up something to get something. It just depends on how much you're willing to give up. The Yankees aren't giving up George Lombard Jr., Dax Kilby, Carlos LeGrand, Ben Hess, nothing like that. Hector says Chase Hampton. Also, I'd love to get rid of him, but he's too injury prone. I don't know if teams would take him on, but I could see a deal around Elmer Rodriguez Cruz. Major league ready pitching is what they need over there. Elmer's been in the league. Will Warren is a major league ready pitcher. He's a number 5 over here, but he'd be a number 3 or 2 possibly over there. So that could be somewhat deals looking for, but it just also depends on what you're willing to give up. So we'll see.
With Ryan Weathers being a lefty, that makes me prone to want to keep him, Ryan Weathers. If we could start the conversation with Will Warren and Luis Hill, let's start it with there. And if they want ERC, cool. We could throw in ERC into that conversation as well. But if we're throwing in ERC on top of Will Warren and Luis Hill, that makes all the other top 5 prospects in our system on you can't touch them. So you have 6 to 10 or 6 to 15 if you want to say. So I would be cool with the Yankees trading Will Warren, Luis Hill, ERC, and throw in either Thatcher Hurd or Bryce Cunningham.
Mm-hmm.
Those would be the 4. The 3 would be Warren, Hill, ERC, and either of Bryce Cunningham or Thatcher. Get the deal done.
I think that could be enough to get it done. But you also got to worry about. We hear rumors that Boston could be involved on him as well. So you're also got to take in consideration. They're right on our asses. If they get Adley Rutschman, we don't. They're a better team. At the end, this is what you got to do, especially and. Yankees got to focus on stop worrying about what the Dodgers are doing. Yankees have to worry about what is going on in their division. Tampa just added Freddie Peralta. Boston hasn't really done anything yet. You can't have a worse trade deadline than both of the guys that you're trying to go against in the division. You can't. Luis García Jr. was a good move. Offensively, he should help. But you got to go out there and be ultra aggressive. I'd love to get Adley Rutschman. You know, we talked about this several times as far as him. He is just coming off an injury. I don't know how much of that it was, hey, we're not going to bring you up because we want to trade you. We don't want you to re-get hurt or anything like that because they're going to be sellers, or how big it is. But I think he's a move that definitely helps us out immediately. And it also allows the Yankees to like, if Rutschman is still a little banged up, it allows them to kind of slow roll him out there because you and I both know they don't want to get rid of Austin Wells. Yeah. So it allows the Yankees to kind of have their cake and eat it too. Their catcher that's, going to be of the future because he's still under control, but you're also going to have Austin Wells available right now in the short term.
So I have something, and I'm trying to clarify the source of this. Put out pitch, heavy on sports. They released something when it comes to Adley Rutschman, and I want to get your instant reaction for this. But it said the Yankees discussion with the Orioles about Adley Rutschman are heating up. The Orioles want Carlos LeGrand to be a part of the deal. On the flip side, the Yankees prefer to move Elmer Rodriguez in a Rutschman deal. Now, are you comfortable of swapping ERC for LeGrand?
No, because with you losing Cruz, LeGrand is now that guy that's going to be in the bullpen, and 103 is 103, man. This dude is a flamethrower. Do you really want to be facing him a couple times a year if he figures it out at this level? I don't. I would, if we lost Giovanni Cruz and Carlos LeGrand in the same deadline, I think I'd be a little annoyed with the Yankees. I wouldn't want to. I'm more. I'd accept it more if we lost Elmer rather than LeGrand.
What if I tell you that we give up LeGrand, we get back Adley Rutschman, and we also get the lefty from San Diego? Would you be okay?
Adrian Motorhome.
Yeah. Keep him. His fucking name is always so. My dyslexia kills me when it comes to him.
I think you should get Motorhome regardless. And that's the thing though. San Diego's interested in Will Warren for what you're hearing. That report last night wasn't true, but they've checked in on him and Weathers multiple times, and they also love Dax Kilby. Morejon right now, I believe, is not under control. I think this would be a rental.
Yeah.
But who's to say you can't bring him back? And he's a reliever anyway. Like
Mhm.
you could, those relievers are easily replaceable. But if we got rid of, I want to see, Carlos DeGrande because I think he's got our future closer potential.
Mhm.
Because 103 is 103, and yeah, Motorhone is a free agent next year. But
So
he's a guy you could bring back at 28.
the teams that are in on Adley Rutschman, and this is as of yesterday, August 2nd. So I'm not sure, or August 1st. I'm not sure if this is before the Tariq Skubal trade, but from Just Baseball, the Orioles are now discussing Adley Rutschman with several teams: the New York Yankees, the Boston Red Sox, the Tampa Bay Rays, the Chicago White Sox, the Texas Rangers, and the LA Dodgers because of the whole situation that's going on with Will Smith and Dalton Rushing, how Shohei Ohtani and half of the team cannot stand that young man, Dalton Rushing. But if it comes down to, this is the double-edged sword with the Yankees. If you're trying to get Adley Rutschman, one, it's an end division rival, but then also you're trying to trade against two other division rivals in the Boston Red Sox and the Tampa Bay Rays. The Tampa Bay Rays already gave prospects for Freddie Peralta, and because of it's the Tampa Bay Rays, they'll fucking figure out Freddie Peralta, and he'll turn back to being an ace in Tampa, whatever.
Yeah, but they're not re-signing him though.
They're not resigning him, but it's just, but they're such a good organization. Like they can fix what's going on with Freddie Peralta for the second half of the season, and I can see him being one of the top pitchers in the second half because of the infrastructure that's put together in Tampa Bay. If you're going against the Red Sox and Tampa in order to upgrade your catching position, upgrade your switch hitting depth as well, you got to be able to give something. You got to be able to give something in order to get something. And I know how much I would hate to give up Carlos DeGrande. I would hate to give him up, but if that's what's stopping me from getting Adley Rutschman and stopping the Red Sox and Tampa Bay from getting him, you may not like me after today's trade deadline because I'll be willing to make the move.
Yeah, my nephew sent me this. It's not real. It's just a joke. The Bleacher Creature says Yankees getting Stanton, Judge, Bellinger, Rodon back. We don't need to make trades. Quote Brian Cashman.
Shout out to your nephew.
That's what we fear, though. We fear that the Yankees do that shit where they're not going to go out there and make big trades because we heard them in the past. And we're like, oh yeah, this guy's coming back.
Yeah, folks in the chat, we got over 735 people watching us collectively on YouTube. We are close to 100 people watching us. So if you guys can, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. When it comes to subscribers, we're at 5,875, almost at 6K. So hit that subscribe button, join in the chat, let us know what's your thoughts. And if you can, interact with the poll. Let's get going with the poll. I fear Morahoney, or whatever, however you pronounce his name, because I'm always having a hard time pronouncing his name. The lefty from San Diego. Since this is a breakout year from him, I'm worried that he comes over and he doesn't live up to what he did with San Diego. That's my only concerns when it comes to him. Us giving up some top prospects or us giving up some top pitching to get somebody that's going to fold in the second half of the season.
Mm-hmm. Let me ask you something. And let me ask you, did you knock out your headphones? I hear myself echoing.
Yeah, I'll put my headphones back in right now.
Oh, got you. Let me ask you something, and can you hear me? Okay, let me ask you something. Let me ask the chat something. What would be the biggest shocker for you guys as far as if the Yankees got rid of this player? I think that's a good little conversation. If you all of a sudden heard breaking news, insert player here is traded from the Yankees, who would be the biggest shocker? Don't say like Ben Rice or anything like that, Cam, because that's not going to happen. But for me, I think it would be like Volpe. If Volpe or Grisham was on the move, I would think I'd be like, oh, shit.
If Volpe or Wells were on the move, I would be like, oh, shit. Grisham, I don't see any value from him. He's making over $20 million a season. Offensively and defensively, he's declining. Yeah, half that. But still, I don't know. There's a need for center fielders after Harrison Bader ran into a fucking bus. He was drunk and he was on a scooter and ran into the back of a bus. So there's a need for center fielders in baseball. I actually, when it comes to Trent Grisham possibly being moved, has Spencer Jones do you believe in Spencer Jones? Because so far,
absolutely. Bro, I'm back. I took a little break. But I'm back. I'm back on the F Trent. Like for real. I'm back. I took a little break. Trent got hurt. I realized how bad this offense was. And then he was just floating under the radar. And then I'm like, one day I'm like, this guy stinks again. Like, what is going on? And his numbers, like, I get it. There are people out there that just because you like a guy doesn't mean he should be on this team. This guy stinks, man. And he's clogging up the works, especially with, okay, I've seen Jason Dominguez, right? Jason Dominguez isn't having the best year, but every time I look up, I feel like I feel like I can remember him doing something good. Like, okay, he came up with a big hit. Him hitting really well from the right side has taken that step forward this year. So I've Grisham, I'm sorry, Dominguez and Spencer Jones have both taken strides to getting better for being young players. Spencer Jones, when he first came up here, they launched his ass right into the fire. He had to go against Miz out the gate, and Miz is like, here, take 104 easily. Struggled his first time up, came up his second time, looked a hell of a lot better. Came up his third time and has looked really good. And he looks like he could be good to pass in the middle of good to great, is what I'm saying. I'm not saying star or superstar, good to great type player. Trent Grisham is not it, dude. This dude, like 143 over his last 7, 096 over his last 15, 189 over his last 30. But everybody's like, here's my take on Trent Grisham. Everybody's like, but he's got an 800 slug in crunch time. All the more reason he should be a bench player. You need, because when are you going to be in the crunch time and the clutch time the most? Off the bench is when Aaron Boone could utilize him. And everywhere, every other facet of the game, he's hurting us. He can't run. There was a ball that was hit over his head yesterday. He can't throw. He could have had a double play if he had a better arm yesterday. Can't do it. He stinks, man. Like, he's got to go. And if the Yankees traded Dominguez and Spencer Jones and brought back Grisham next year, I'm going to be pissed.
Yeah. I think somebody said the Dodgers just traded for Ben Rohrbeck. What the fuck? What?
Hey, Benny Biceps.
The LA Dodgers for the third time in the past calendar year acquire Ben Rohrbeck.
Oh, yeah, Dodgers bring back 2005 World Series champion Rohrbeck in a trade with the Mets. The Mets are selling, so
that's hilarious.
They're on full sell mode.
I want to bring up Trent Grisham's baseball savant number, so we could just discuss it. So this is Trent Grisham's baseball savant. Obviously, the red speed up, chase rate, whiff rate. He doesn't swing at much. He doesn't strike out much. He walks, but it's like when you look at his stats on the season, he has a 217 batting average. He has an on-base percentage of 320. His slugging is under 400 at 397. He has an OPS of 717, barely over 700. When you look at his fielding, we was all told that, Trent Grisham, he's an elite Gold Glove center fielder. When you look at his fielding, it's all on the blue. The 54th percentile when it comes to arm value, arm strength, is definitely making me blue. His range is 23, but then when you look at Spencer Jones, he's in the red when it comes to his defense and his running speed. His bat speed is up there. His square up rate and his chase rate are probably not good. His whiff and his strikeout, but his walk numbers, he's having a decent season. And like you said, his third time up has been a lot better. And this was as of August 1st, his last 28 games he plays since being back called up. He has 5 home runs. He has a 351 on base percentage. He is slugging 544, and he has an OPS of 895. You got Trent Grisham that's barely over 700, and then you got Spencer Jones who's borderline 900 with a 118 WRC plus since being called back up.
And this is why people get frustrated with the Yankees. Because it's the selective analytical approach. It's the favoritism. Like, the writing's on a wall with somebody like Trent Grisham. So it's bad, man. And you can't keep putting, dude, you're trying to win a championship. You can't go into the playoffs with Trent Grisham how he is, right? You can't go in with Anthony Volpe, Austin Wells, Ryan McMahon, and Jazz Chisholm playing how they're playing. You can't do it. We're not going to be able to survive a series doing that. Spencer Jones, like, you got to give him as much run as you've given other people like Anthony Volpe and Austin Wells, because in a short sample size, he's playing well. A lot of people are sitting here like, oh, Spencer Jones' numbers aren't that impressive, because you're comparing him to full-time players. He's doing this in part-time work where he's barely playing. He's playing like what? Before this hot stretch, he was playing like what? 3, maybe 4 times a week, if that. So how can you expect the guy to really get going? Baseball is a sport where you have to be out there every day. You can't just be, as a part-time platoon player, especially being so young. Defensively, he's way better than Trent Grisham. What does Trent Grisham do better than right now than Spencer Jones does? Spencer Jones got more pop. What does he do better? Last year we brought him back 35 home runs. He's nowhere near that this year. He's not getting that this year.
Yeah. I just added another poll in the chat. If you guys can interact, since it's about to be 12 o'clock, we got 30 minutes left of the stream. With the trade deadline at 6 p.m., what must Cashman address next? Starting pitching, bullpen help, a catcher, or add another bat, which could kind of fall into the same lines as a catcher. For me, I think the Yankees, they need to upgrade their catching. That needs to be the next move. Like the next alert that we get, even if it's over the next 35 minutes while we're still on stream, I hope it is so we could discuss it. Whatever alert that comes across our phone, whether it's from ESPN, whether it's from Bob Nightingale, Joe Sherman, any of the Yankees beat reporters that do an amazing job, whatever it is, it needs to be a catcher. I would prefer Adley Rutschman. But if it's Tyler Stevenson from the Reds, that goes to show me that Austin Wells will be the starting catcher, platooning with Tyler Stevenson. But I would prefer, if the Yankees do get a catcher, it's Adley Rutschman. And I'm willing to go all in for Adley.
Yeah, Joe Sherman just tweeted a couple of minutes ago. Keep in mind, it's not just the Yankees, and even just in the AL that have kept the eye on Rutschman, but the Rays have kept the eye on him, and the surging Red Sox, who are very much trying to improve their roster. So if Rutschman, it looks like he could potentially just be going to the AL East. It just depends on what team.
And if it's a bidding ace, and if it's a bidding war with the Red Sox and with the Reds, and if we have to give up, with the Rays, and if we have to give up LeGrand, hey, bro, I'm sorry, bro. We may have to give up Carlos.
Yeah.
We may have to give up Carlos. And I know that's a move that you don't like that much.
Yeah. When it comes to, would I rather have Adley or Goodman? I don't think I think that's all smoke. I don't think he's going anywhere. I think he's going to stay. I think it's all smoke. Unless they get a package where you're like blown away by, like, let's say Adley Rutschman goes, right? And then you got like an hour or two left. Then if I'm the Rockies, I hit up whoever loses out on the Adley sweepstakes. Like, make me an offer I can't refuse. That type of stuff. So,
folks in the chat, if you guys can, we got over 770 watching us collectively, over 100 on YouTube. If you guys can, hit that like button. We're sitting on 36 likes. We got over 100 people watching us on YouTube, 770 collectively. So if you guys can, hit that like button, interact with the poll that is in the chat right now. As of right now, catcher is leading the way when it comes to the polls, as that makes sense with 30 votes, 62% of you guys saying catcher, 24% of you guys saying bullpen, and add another at bat is 13%. Starting pitching is a 0, because I think all of us Yankee fans can agree our starting pitching is not the issue. It's our position players in the infield, most startingly with catcher, then shortstop, and then our bullpen. That's where I will rank the Yankees' priorities for the rest of this trade deadline.
Yeah, absolutely. So. Also, shout out to you guys in the chat. We got almost 800 people in here collectively. And also, shout out to the lovely co-host, Grace Monroe. We'll be back live tomorrow, all three. Grace will be back tomorrow, right?
Yeah, Grace should be back tomorrow. It may be, I may have to join from my phone and you may have to host, just because, just to let everybody know, I will be traveling to Philadelphia tomorrow, because Latino Sports, we have to present an award to Christopher Sanchez, starting pitcher from the Philadelphia Phillies in the National League. So we're presenting an award on the field because he did win the Latino MVP award for starting pitchers for 2025. So that's for me tomorrow. So I'm going to join in on my phone, and Ace will have to handle the production duties for tomorrow's show. But shout out to everybody that's in the chat. Let's salute everybody. Travel Vibes 4778 is in the building. Buck Skull Game, my man. Ronald McDonald's, who says slit code and free would stop the Dodgers. Shout out to Ronaldo McDonald in the chat. I appreciate you. Hector Cruz. What about Elio Ramos? He can play multiple positions. That's another name that I saw the Yankees interested in this morning as a position player, a platoon player. He's a center fielder who he mashes left-handed hitting for his career. But this season, he's hitting .305 versus left-handed pitching. And I think he has a slug of 450 or close to 500 versus left-handed pitching. What's your thought about Elio Ramos? He's a body who can play multiple outfield positions.
all for it, but it just depends on what. Like, if you're going to get rid of Trent Grisham and bring in this guy, I'm for that. It's the same thing with, like, there's so many possibilities if we could just get rid of Trent Grisham. I'd even go called up Marco Luciano, who's killing it in the minor leagues right now. But Heliot Ramos, I wouldn't mind. It just depends on what you're going to do with everybody else. Like, let me see what his contract is like. I think
he has a year and a half of control.
Look, I'm just going to put this out here, dude. I don't want to bring in any more guys that's going to be at the detriment of Jason Dominguez and Spencer Jones. No, actually, he's under arbitration until
he's on the ARB. Yeah.
So he's very controllable. Yeah. So if you were to get a Heliot Ramos, then I would probably say you're going to end up flipping a Spencer Jones or flipping a Jason Dominguez, because you're not going to have him and keep them as well with Cody Bellinger and Aaron Judge. Somebody's going to get flipped. But I'm just at the point now where I want to see Dominguez and Spencer Jones pan out. I don't want to just bring in somebody that's going to be at a detriment to these guys yet again, because we've done this too many times. Trent Grisham, Alex Verdugo, all these guys. Even bringing back Cody Bellinger, as much as we love Cody Bellinger, he was brought back at the detriment of those guys as well.
Yeah. I saw a report also that got me a little bit frustrated, seeing that the Yankees, I forgot, Jim Bowden, I think, reported this, how the Yankees would be interested on playing Ben Rice as a catcher or having him take reps at catcher. That's not going to happen this season. The Yankees, I don't think they should mess around with Ben Rice. If they were going to try that experiment, it would have happened already during the season, not at the trade line or like the day of the trade line. The Yankees haven't had Ben Rice catch all season. Maybe in spring training, he was like doing some drills with the catcher. But last year, I will report this all the time to you and Grace. I saw him last year when he was doing his preparation during batting practice. It was 50-50. Some of the times he was working with the infield. The other time he was working with the catchers. This season, I have not seen him do that. He's been primarily working with the position players, not with the catchers. So I don't see the Yankees doing anything. So there's no validity to that report on my end.
I wouldn't at this point, especially like as an emergency situation. Sure, you want to have that bullet off the bench where it allows you to kind of pinch hit, and we know how Boone loves to clear the bench. It just allows you with that. But I would still go out there and get a top of the line catcher. I would. Also, MLB just reported that Bryce Harper is expected to move back to the outfield with the Phillies' reported acquisition of Luis Arias to play second, Bohm to move to first, and Bryson Stott to move to third. So that means Harper's going back to the outfield.
Let's see if that works out. Luis Arias is somebody that intrigued me. Go ahead, my fault, bro.
No, I was going to say Bryce Harper, much improved first baseman. Like, very, very, and that's one of those things where, as Yankee fans, did we miss the boat on Aaron Judge potentially moving to first base a couple years ago? Like, who knows? But with Ben Rice has to be back to the Rice conversation. He has to be the full-time first baseman. Defensively, he's not great. Defensively, he's actually bad. And a lot of it is mental. It's the mental thing where you got to know when you got to cover the bag, dude. Like, I've seen it too many times. But I've also seen some good plays here and there. Like the other day, he saved a high throw from Ryan McMahon. Applied the tag greatly. He just needs more experience. I don't think he's like, oh yeah, he sucks. He can't. I'm not gonna say he can't play first.
Yeah,
he just needs more experience. I was in the same boat when I said Jazz with Jazz Chisholm while I'm open to moving him to third. I never thought Jazz couldn't play third. He just didn't have the experience, and he wasn't the reason that cost us defensively, which is why I was open if we would have got Luis Arias to moving Jazz back to third. Because offensively, he'll give you more to McMahon. Even though Jazz is having a really bad year, you still know the upside. You still know the potential when it comes to that. But ultimately, I just think like after the deadline, I would love for this offense to look like Rutschman behind the plate, Rice and Garcia first DH, second base Jazz, Lombard short, McMahon third, and outfield of, when healthy, Bellinger, Judge, and I'm starting to think that I'm starting to lean more towards the Spencer Jones over Jason Dominguez.
What I would like to see, if the Yankees do not get another outfielder, which I think the catcher is more of a priority for the Yankees than an extra outfielder to supplement or to fill in for Cody Bellinger and Aaron Judge. What I would want to see from the New York Yankees is after this trade deadline, if you're going to rock with Trent Grisham in center field because of his contract, copy. You play him in center field. But I would like to see the Yankees give Spencer Jones and Jason Dominguez time in left and right, or Spencer Jones in center field over the next month to see what they can do. So when Cody Bellinger and Aaron Judge, when they do return to the Yankees lineup and they are in the outfield, you can use this next month to evaluate who is your center fielder going forward. Is it Trent Grisham? Is it Spencer Jones? Or is it Jason Dominguez? Most likely not going to be Jason Dominguez because of his defense. But if Spencer Jones can show you that he can be an average Major League Baseball player when it comes to his hitting, but he's going to be exceptional when it comes to his defense, you have why shoot yourself in the foot and have somebody who's a worse defender and Trent Grisham out there. To your point, Ace, if you need to have him as a pinch hitter, you have him as a pinch hitter coming off of your bench.
Yeah. Platoon Dominguez and Spencer Jones.
If I can, real quick, I just got a text message. Shout out to the Twin Stripe reporters. Their mom just sent me a text message saying that we can't get the MLB network, but this is just as good. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much, Robin. If you guys don't know Carter and Cooper, the Twin Stripe reporters, the twins, I was there when they had their first event. Their first interview was with Oswaldo Cabrera, and ever since then, them little kids, whenever I see them, they show me so much love, and I love seeing their journey over the past couple years as content creators, but also as young men. And shout out to their mother, Robin, who has done an amazing job when it comes to raising such well-spoken young men. And Carter and Cooper, they are the future when it comes to sports reporting. And I will have them on the show. We'll try to figure it out to have them as a guest with myself and Ace. So I just wanted to take 2 seconds to shout out Carter and Cooper and their mother, Robin, who does an amazing job. Those little boys are the future. I love them to death.
Yep. Well said, and salute to them. They got bright futures. You're not a Yankee fan if you don't know Twin Strike reporters. It's as simple as that. You're really not a Yankee fan if you don't know them. And shout out to them. Would love to have them on the show. But yeah, it's just one of those things, man. Would you be against platooning Dominguez and Spencer Jones? Because Spencer Jones, they don't like playing him versus lefties. We saw him hit a home run versus lefty the other day. Dominguez is batting really well from the right side this year. Like really well. Would you be against platooning them?
If the Yankees, if Jason Dominguez was a better defensive center fielder or better outfielder, I can see the Yankees doing that. But because of Jason Dominguez defense in center field, I don't think the Yankees are comfortable with having him be the set. We've seen the Yankees trying to convert him into a left field that hasn't worked out. Left field at Yankee Stadium is very hard for anybody to play, let alone somebody who's been bad in center field. He's been better in right field. I think somebody put it in the chat. I think I highlighted it. They said, I think it was John that said that let's not lie to ourselves. Jason Dominguez, look, John right here. Jason Dominguez crashes into walls, crashes into people, overthrows the cutoff guy. The ball hits off the side of his glove. He misjudges bounces. He looks like a kid lost in the grocery store. Absolutely. He definitely looks like a kid lost in the grocery store. But it hasn't been over the past week. His bad decision making has been, should he throw to this cutoff guy? What base should he throw into? It hasn't been his routes. To me, it's been more like decision making after he gets the ball or when the ball is hit at him and it hits the grass before getting to him. It hasn't been bad routes from Jason Dominguez, in my opinion.
Yeah. Okay. Ryan Garcia just posted. Jared Carabas is reporting that the Red Sox have acquired Adley Rutschman and that it's in the medical phase. Then he retweets saying the Yankees had interest in Adley Rutschman and made an attempt to land him, but it seems like the Boston Red Sox push harder. Ryan Garcia, friend of the channel, good dude over there. Make sure you guys go check him out. Really knows his stuff. If he's pushing this, I believe it.
He doesn't, yeah, and that's one thing about Ryan. He makes sure that he vets his sources before putting it out there.
Mm-hmm. So if that's the case, where do the Yankees pivot from here when it comes to catcher? Because Austin Wells can't be the everyday catcher tomorrow. You may be looking at Tyler Stevenson, which you maybe look at Joe Sherman. Can you check Joe Sherman?
Yeah, that's what I'm looking right now. Jared Carabas, if you guys go ahead.
You maybe look at You maybe look at a Liam Hicks. You maybe look at who's the other guy? A Stevenson. So that's a good move for Boston. Like this.
So this is Joe Sherman right here. Joe Sherman keeps hearing the Red Sox working hard on a trade with the Orioles for Adley Rutschman. Rutschman currently has a sprained wrist and is on the IL. So medical review in any trade would be no sure thing.
Mm-hmm. So we gotta wait to see how that pans out. But if Rutschman, these are two good sources that we just put up there, Joe Sherman and Ryan Garcia. So if that's the case, also, make sure you guys go follow those guys and have your Twitter notifications on as well. It's just one of those things where do the Yankees pivot? Hicks, maybe. Twin Strike Reporters, thank you for becoming members of
Thank you,
Uptown Sports,
guys.
Yankees Morning Brew. Appreciate you guys.
Love you guys so much. Love you guys. Guys, make sure you guys go and subscribe to the Twin Stripe Reporters. Follow them on all social media platforms. They're doing amazing. Like, I just got back from upstate, so I was unplugged away. I know I have to reach out to the mom. I got some content that I have to send her way. But make sure you guys go and follow and support the Twin Stripe Reporters. Like I say, they do an amazing job online. Go ahead, bro.
No, you're good. No, keep talking. I'm going to go ahead and drop their link in the channel.
Copy. I appreciate that. So if you guys don't know who Jared Carabas is, that's the guy that his podcast is who ticked off Cam Slittler. He's a Boston Red, basically the Boston Red Sox version of John Boy Media. That's Jared Carabas and the crew that's over there.
All right, so that's the link down below to the Twin Strike Reporters. Make sure you guys go check them out and give them some love. That's their YouTube channel. Also, go check them out on IG as well, where they do a lot of good work over there.
Mm-hmm.
It's a blow, no doubt, and the Red Sox got better. It's simple as that. And now, what moves do the Yankees do from here? Stevenson is a potential, but Stevenson is not the everyday catcher. This is
Heyman just reported it also. My fault. Heyman just reported it also. So if you have Joe Sherman and John Heyman reporting it, it has some, and Mark Feinstein, it has some it has some legs behind it.
Yeah, so it looks like Rutschman's about to be a Red Sox. Your Yankees, where do you go from here? Do you go Stevenson? Every other catching option is now going to be a backup option, which is what the Yankees. This might actually be what the Yankees want at the end of the day, because that allows them to still keep Austin Wells in the rotation. Sucks for us, but Yankees want to have their cake and eat it too. Hicks could be a possibility. Yeah, Ryan Garcia said Tyler Stevens is a player the Yankees could be pursuing as a pivot to Rutschman. To be frank, every Yankee fan should react poorly to the news of Adley to Boston. This is simply not acceptable for a club in a position to contend for the American League East.
Let's see what the package is from the Red Sox before we start.
You're breaking up. Can you see? Am I frozen or is Hector frozen?
So here, can you see me? Okay.
Yeah. Was I frozen or Hector frozen? Put it in the chat, guys.
No, I was frozen. That's on me. That's on my.
Got you. It's just about pivoting from here. Tyler Stevenson seems to be possibly the move. Is it the sexiest move? Absolutely not.
The Twin Strike Reporter said, when we opened your video, we saw Adley Rutschman. We thought he was ours. Listen, I thought he was going to be ours too. So I apologize for the clickbait video.
No, you're good. You're looking at Stevenson this year. If the Yankees pivot to him, 256 average. It's okay. First of all, let's be honest. It's still better than Austin Wells. It's still something like that. Hope we get Hunter Goodman. We just talked about that a couple minutes ago. If Rutschman's off the board and some of these other catching prospects are no longer available, Shane Langeliers was off the board very quickly because he got injured. The catching market's something that a lot of teams need. So would the Rockies now pick up the phone and say, hey, I need this? For Hunter Goodman, it's going to cost you Lombard Jr. It's going to cost you. It's going to. I know you don't want to make the move, but in order to make that move,
it's not that I want to. I don't think the Yankees would, just because of his defensive metrics.
Yeah,
my fault.
Of course. No, not just that either. Well, first of all, Yankees would, because Hunter Goodman's already what we got. Home run or nothing type stuff. Like we pulled up the other day what his numbers are with runners on base. They're terrible. Hey, so he fit right in. He fits right into the Yankee philosophy. I just don't want to overpay for somebody like him. Rutschman was a guy that I definitely wanted. Hicks is a guy a lot of people have talked about, especially with considering the amount of work we've already done with the Marlins. So it's that familiarity when it comes to that. But I Hicks 288, 282 on the year, 14 home runs. I'd be okay with that. I'm okay with that. But he's another lefty bat. I mean, you're
Yeah.
not getting that right-handed bat. Stevenson at least is the right-handed bat. Like, we got to bring in a right-handed catcher. This team is still so left-handed. Tyler Stevenson seems to probably be the move, and they'll end up platooning him with Austin Wells. Watch.
That's and this is something that we talked about last week. And I said that the high likelihood or the big possibility of who the Yankees would get would be Tyler Stevenson. I said it. I was like, my dream is Adley Rutschman, but I know the Yankees are most likely going to get Tyler Stevenson. And that's what it looks like right now. When you look at Hunter Goodman, he's a phenomenal player. He's a phenomenal hitter. Defensively, he's above average this year defensively. But every scout that I've spoken to, people that follow the industry, have all been saying collectively that his future is first base DH. And if we have Ben Rice as a first baseman and a DH, and if we have now Luis García Jr. as a first baseman and a DH, he's under control for the next year and a half. I do not see the Yankees trading for another catcher, first baseman, DH in the future. Like I just do not see the reality of that. And credit to the Boston Red Sox for pulling the trigger. We just have to see what prospects they give up. David Cohen with a $4.99 super chat. This is why fans get pissed with Cashman, not making the move to get this team over the hump, and a division rival gets better. Yeah, I think this sucks more because it's a division rival, and it's the Red Sox. If the Tampa Bay Rays would have got him, I would not have been as upset. But the Boston Red Sox, everything they went through the season, firing their manager, having the second worst record in baseball behind the Colorado Rockies before we went in there and they swept us, put belt to ass. It's because this whole entire 180 that they've done on this season, which makes it suck. It hurts more as a Yankee fan and a content creator.
And I blame us because we could have put them out. I told you we put a battery in their back. We did.
Yeah.
And now that might come back to bite us. Let the Yankees keep messing around. Dude, I have no – if it's the inverse of last year and we're playing them in a wild card and we have to go to Fenway, I think we're screwed. I'm just going to be honest. We might be in trouble.
The Red Sox, and I said this earlier, the Red Sox, they have more players on their roster that have fuck you Yankees energy than we do with them. The only person that you could say on our roster that has like fuck you Red Sox energy is Cam Slittler. Every other, you got so many players that were in the Yankees system, made their way to Boston, became major league players because I made it to the major league roster in Boston. They have a lot of players that have more of a chip on their shoulder against the Yankees than any other player that we have.
Bro, these guys are right on our asses.
David Cohen with the $1.99 super chat, helping us keep the lights on over here. This is a slap in the face to us fans. Absolutely. And just to let everybody know, we are sitting at 775 watchers collectively, 72 on YouTube. We're sitting at 49 likes. If you guys can on YouTube, hit that like button. We're going to have another show later on today around like 5 o'clock. To talk about the trade deadline right before the 6 p.m. trade deadline happened. That show is going to feature my man Brian Fonseca from the New York Post, Al Cintron from WFAN, the Pinstripe Bugle, Evan May join, my guy Anthony Rivera from Subway to Shea. If Ace has a few minutes, he'll probably join as well. But if you guys, just to let you guys know, at 5 o'clock, from like 5 to like, and we're going to do a open panel after the trade deadline hits at 6 p.m. 6:15. We'll do an open panel just to let you guys know, so you guys can join in on the conversation. Set your notifications so you guys can be reminded later on today. Go ahead, Ace.
Like Evan said, was it Evan that said they can still be on Jeffers, which is what we talked, which is what the likeliest thing has kind of been. He's been tied to them for so long. It makes me think, like, why wouldn't it have happened? Like, for Ryan Jeffers, go ahead. You can have Luis Hill back. I know you guys want him. And then just figure it out from there. But it just depends on who's going to sell. But this is the problem with this extra wild card spot. You have so many teams that are still in on it. Minnesota's one game out of that last wild card spot. They're not going to sell. Why are they going to sell? Like, they have other catchers they could use, but it doesn't mean, unless you're giving a package that can help them this year, they're not going to sell because of that extra wild card. And it's as simple as that. Like, it's a double-edged sword for baseball. It's good and bad for baseball at the same time too, because it kind of kills the deadline.
First of all, Drew, Pete Kennedy, that's my man, pots and pans. I definitely am going to reach out to Pete. Anthony Gallo and Al Cintron. They had Theo Allen, friends on the channel. Everybody's schedule got screwed up. We're going to be bringing back that show pretty soon. So Pete Kennedy, Subway Sports Talk is my guy. When it comes to, and I apologize for the noise in the background. Somebody's using the hand dryer in the bathroom. When it comes to Jeffers, with the Detroit Tigers trading away Scooble, it leaves the AL Central open for both the Minnesota Twins and the Cleveland Guardians. I don't see them trading Jeffers now that Detroit just opened up the avenue, and the White Sox as well. Opened up winning that one. Yeah. I would say the White Sox are winning it, but like you said, with so many teams in it because of that extra wild card spot, if I'm the Minnesota Twins and I'm looking at my schedule, I think they have like 6 more games against the Tigers. I'm trying to go all in. I'm trying to add. I'm not trying to be a seller at the trade deadline if anything makes sense. And now we got Joe Adell traded to Cleveland.
He was linked to the Yankees last week.
Yeah.
But see, this is okay. I understand fans' frustration. I'm with you too, right? Adley Rutschman to the Red Sox is such a Brian Cashman thing that happened in this era. And it's one of those things where we look at, if George was here, that shit wouldn't have happened. Like, because you're not going to let a guy of his caliber that you want go to your rivals. But this is where we're at right now. This is kind of where we're at. So where do we pivot from here? It's not done yet. It's not official, but we're seeing some really good sources talk about it. So it's just about, where do we go from here? You're going to have to pivot. You can't, the one thing's for sure, we can't continue with the same catchers. Liam Hicks possibility, Tyler Stevenson possibility, Ryan Jeffers possibility. We're gonna have to wait and see what happens, though. So yeah, we can't just stay pat, though. Yeah, and that's the thing with the deadline. Like, you can't just put it on cash because it takes two to tango. If Boston put together a better package, you can't just think teams are gonna help the Yankees out. It's not realistic.
Yeah, I'm still trying to see what prospects they were offered.
They haven't. It hasn't been announced yet.
But I have a list right here. These are possible trade options for the New York Yankees. Obviously, everybody's putting Hunter Goodman at the top of the list. I don't think that's reality. But you got Gabriel Moreno, I think from Arizona, Ivan Herrera from St. Louis.
I could see that. Mm-hmm.
I could see that one. Ryan Jeffers doesn't make sense for me. You got Liam Hicks, Francisco Alvarez, Gary Sanchez. If there's a Gary Sanchez reunion, that'd be fucking hilarious. And then Tyler Stevenson.
He can't wear 99.
He can't wear 99 anymore. He wouldn't be able to wear 99. But out of all those catchers, somebody we'll get his name from the Mets, that was in our system, the catcher. Luis Torrens. I will put Luis Torrens on that list as well. Or Kyle Higashioka. I will add those two to that list as well.
Luis Torrens, first of all, I would love to have him back, but it's one of those situations where he's a defensive first catcher. We already have that with Austin Wells. Offensively, he's going to give us nothing too, and he's just going to be giving us nothing from the right side. And he's kind of getting up there in age. He is 30 years old. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's one of those things where it's not the future catcher. Like, that's why they kind of got rid of him for cash consideration. Mm-hmm. Defensively, he would be great here. Offensively, we're gonna still get nothing from that spot. So who can be an upgrade? I'm thinking of who can be an upgrade for us offensively, catching wise, right? Ivan Herrera, 242 on the year. He's got a 734 OPS. That I'd probably put him close to the bottom. Then you're looking at somebody like Tyler Stevenson, 256, a 759 OPS. I'd put him a little bit higher. Liam Hicks, but he's a lefty. 282 on the year, 14 home runs. Ryan Jeffers, 291, but we all know he missed a significant amount of time. So I think as of right now, and then Goodman would be at the top of the list, but I just don't think Goodman's a realistic possibility. I don't think Goodman's going anywhere unless you're throwing the entire farm or offer they can't refuse. Moreno would be amazing, but it's once again, it's not the guy. And the Yankees are doing the same thing where we're entering a deadline where you haven't gotten the guy. You're getting a bunch of A guys. So we'll see what happens.
You got a lot of Red Sox fans that apparently aren't happy about trading for Adley Rutschman for some reason online.
Probably because he's hurt.
Yeah, but when you look at his resume, he was a number 1 overall pick in 2019. He's just 28 years old. He's a 3-time All-Star, a Silver Slugger, College World Series champ. .254 batting average for his career, 69 home runs, 277 RBIs. He has an OPS plus of 756. Now, I saw Evan put in the chat that, the Yankees are going to say that they didn't like his medicals, and it all depends on how that is interpreted. And that was my main concern on Adley Rutschman, was his injury history. And if you go to trade for him, you have to understand that injury history comes with Adley Rutschman on top of his good defensive metrics and on top of his solid offensive numbers that he puts up. Maybe his medicals were just not good. He's on the IL right now, so I'm just trying to find any silver lining that I don't crash out in this new office, because I have a security deposit that I would like to keep.
New holes about to be in the wall. About to have some drywall.
I ain't trying to do that.
But it just until we figure out what it was, because it's always gonna be. This is what's gonna happen. You want to know what's gonna happen? I'm gonna tell you exactly what's gonna happen. We're gonna see what they gave up for Adley Rutschman, and then Yankee fans are gonna be like, "What couldn't Cashman do something like that?" Because it just that's how it's gonna be, man. And they're gonna obviously charge us still more than they're gonna charge them, but it just depends. But like I said, you just Googled it earlier. Top trade candidates: Goodman, Rutschman's off the board. Stevenson, Jeffers, Hicks, Torrens. It's not a lot, and so it's a bidding war. You're gonna have to kind of blow them away when it comes to a package like that. I'm just interested to see what they're gonna give up, but the Red Sox do have a better farm than we do.
Yeah, and this was reported by Eric Hubbs from Barstools. Just reported this like less than a minute ago. And if you guys know Eric Hubbs, he's not somebody that fluffs up the Yankees. But this is what Hubbs said. He said, getting the vibes from several people that the Yankees didn't love Adley's wrist situation. It's brutal. He'll be a great Red Sox, no doubt in mine.
Yep.
So it seemed like the Yankees didn't like his wrist situation.
Okay, John posted it first. I thought I put it up on the chat because I thought it was Jacob, because they have the same J and the same color. The Seattle Mariners acquired Tyler Ward in a trade with Baltimore. So
they're selling.
Baltimore? Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Which is let's see, how far are they out? Where's my standings? Bro, they're not even that far behind. They're 2.5 behind that final wild card spot. And they're like, fuck it, we're done.
Now the Yankees are, because Taylor Ward is Taylor Ward, he's a guy that he could play both corner outfield spots, a little bit of center field. He has some speed, good defensive metrics, solid offensive numbers, a right-handed hitter. That signals to me the Yankees not being 100% in on Taylor Ward, whatever the trade package was to Seattle. That signals to me that Aaron Judge will be back, because they didn't go all in for an outfielder, a right-handed outfielder.
Yeah. Well, look, if the Orioles are selling, send over Cano. I'm looking at their roster. If y'all selling, right? Send over Cano. You can't get Morejon. Send over Cano. Cano's having a really good year. Mm-hmm. Wouldn't be surprised if he's on the move. I'm looking at their roster. Apparently, they're selling. Pete Alonso ain't going nowhere. The Mets might bring him back. The Mets might bring him back just for good vibes. Just kind of save face.
Did you see that situation with Pete Alonso and Dean Kramer, the pitcher? He threw over to first base. Pete Alonso didn't know where the ball was at, and Kramer actually, can you see where the ball? It was a very awkward situation. But yeah,
you know who low key I'd take from the he's not having a good year. You could guess this easily. You know who low key I would take from the Orioles?
Oh, who? I don't know. Who?
Gunnar Henderson. I would take Gunnar Henderson. He is having a shit year, but I still trust that he'd be a better shortstop than what we have now.
We drafted Anthony Volpe over him. We took Volpe at the end of the first round. Right. Gunnar Henderson went at the beginning of the second round. A lefty.
Maybe he comes here and it just writes the universe. I have no idea. But Cano's probably their next most valuable piece. Rico Garcia is also having a good year as well. So don't be surprised if they're in sell mode, which is crazy. Don't be surprised they start selling some of these arms off.
Ryan Garcia also put it out there. The Yankees had some interest in Taylor Ward, but would indicate the Mariners are buyers at the trade deadline. Joe McFly said, I blame the Yankees if the Red Sox get Adley Rutschman, because the Yankees got them hot when they were dead.
That's what I just said, right? I said
100%.
We put a battery in their back. I'm telling you, that's what happened. And if they go on to knock us out, we got no one to blame but ourselves. And Aaron Boone for putting out punt lineups and not taking it seriously. I told you. I said it a long time ago. Like that just reeked of, because they were dead, man. If we would have took 3 out of 4, they're done. And then they swept us. They said, you know what? Then they went on to win 14 straight, and they were right back in it. So we got no one to blame but ourselves. And this Yankee team will sit here and say, we're taking every game seriously. We learned from last year. Did you?
Thank you for everybody who interacted with the poll that was in the chat. We had 63 votes. What must Brian Cashman address next? 72% of you guys said catcher. Adley Rutschman's off the board. Let's see what happens. 13% of you guys said bullpen. Another 13% of you guys said add another bat. And then 2% said starting pitching. I'm going to put another poll in the chat. I'm just trying to figure it out what it is right now. We're going to, matter of fact, it's 12:30. Let's put a pin in this live, just because we're going to come back later on today at like 5 o'clock. If you guys can comment after this video is over, comment in the comment section and we'll bring it up from the mailbag. Ace, you got something you want to say before we dip out?
Yeah, how much you want to bet we log off and the Yankees do something?
Bro, that's what I was just thinking. I'm like, I don't want to end it because what?
You want to rock till 1?
Are you cool with that?
I'm good. Yeah, let's go. We go till 1.
Let's rock.
Right,
we're gonna rock till 1 o'clock. We're gonna rock till 1 o'clock. We got 775 people in the chat collectively watching us. 62 on YouTube. If you're watching on YouTube, hit that like button because we're sitting at 50 likes. Let's try to get to as close as we can to 100 on this stream. So hit that like button. We appreciate everybody who's here. If you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button and let us know if this is the first time you're in the chat. When it comes to subscribers, we're at 5,877. 23 away from 5,900. So thank you guys so much. Hit that subscribe button. Go ahead, Ace.
Did you read this Brian Garcia tweet? The Yankees did not get dog walked by Boston. They might have had Adley on all of them. It's true. Like now things starting to heat up because with the trade deadlines, it's like you'll get us because it's so long, right? And the big fish like Tariq School was already done. You're gonna get a spurt where people are gonna go quickly. Then before the deadline is going to die down a little bit because you're trying to see who's going to make what moves and people are going to try to adjust. And then you're going to see like right before the deadline's over, a lot of moves to be made. And also it can go past the deadline if teams have already started talking about it and it's in there. So look a little bit past that. But yeah, it seems like, we had a little bit of an energy surge right there with a couple guys going off the board. So
I just got to say this, Lou. And this is no shade to Luis García Jr. But if Luis García Jr. is the only trade you make at the trade deadline, this is a disaster of a trade deadline. We said it. Malpractice. We said it. If you do not improve what your team needs, especially from behind the plate, and you stick with Austin Wells, it's malpractice, right? The New York Yankees, 27 championships. Not one of those championships have been won without at least one switch hitter in your starting lineup. And the Yankees have no switch hitter.
Dominguez.
But every day, he's not an everyday player, but I see what you're saying. Adley Rutschman would have been an everyday switch hitter in your lineup.
Yep.
Period. Stop the end.
I want to get a new catcher and get Wells out of here for our co-host Grace.
Get him out of my face.
Because she can't. Grace can't put up with too much more Austin Wells. She's trying. God bless Grace. We love her. She's trying her hardest. She's sitting here saying, I'm not gonna say anything more about Austin Wells, but he doesn't throw off the mask, and it's like, yo, we can't do it. This deadline's already, Evan. This deadline's already better than 2023 by getting Garcia Jr.
Yeah,
like, let's not put that out there. Only because Yankee fans are just gonna complain that if they don't there's no big splash moves to really be made this year. But this deadline's already better by getting Garcia Jr. and you got rid of 2 terrible pitchers that Aaron Boone can no longer be itching to deploy, and Camilo Duvall and Jake Bird. So you're allowing other guys to step up. Angel Civilli, I imagine he's going to get more of a high leverage role. He's been pitching well for us this year. Hedrick's been pitching well. You're going to throw Cruz out there, Bednar, but I would still love to go get another pitcher, dude. You could always use pitcher. Go get me Adrian Mahone.
Smash or Pass 592 in the chat said, I'm not going to lie. Wells is shaping up and getting hot, but we need that platoon. I love Wells. I'm getting impatient, though, but we got to give credit to these last couple of weeks. No, yeah. And that's the thing that That's the thing when having these conversations. Both Austin Wells and Anthony Volpe, when you look at their last 10 games offensively, they've been solid. I think Volpe's hit it like over 280 over his last 10 games. But it's just we've seen so much of a sample size of disappointment that Yankee fans, I don't think would care if Austin Wells hit over 350 the next month. They would still be screaming to get rid of him because if he strikes out with runners in scoring position, that's a sign right there to get. Just this one stat that kills me, that makes me laugh. Giancarlo Stanton hasn't played a game for the Yankees since April. He has more RBIs on the season than Austin Wells does. How is that possible?
And I told you, I said this a couple weeks ago. The worst thing that could happen for the Yankees is that Austin Wells starts to hit a little bit, because then they're going to be like, maybe he's turned the corner. Maybe we don't need an Adley Rutschman, because the Yankees are so in love with him that it's not going to take much, dude. It's really not going to take much for them to be like, oh, yeah, he'll ride it out. Then the trade deadline will come and go. Austin Wells will go back to being shit, and then we're screwed. So, all right. So Jonathan Mayo, MLB Network did repost this, so it makes me think that it's legit. They said the return for Ward is Alex Hoppe, Harrison Creeling, and Brock Moore. So 3 guys I've never heard of. So that was the return for and MLB Pipeline also reposted as well.
So wait, what were the names? What was the first name?
The first name was Alex Hoppe.
Alex
Hoppe.
Hoppe. He's not even in the top 30.
Harrison Creeling.
Harrison
Kreiling.
He's not even in the top 30 in Seattle.
Brock Moore.
Let me see. So they were able to get Tyler Ward without giving up any of the top 30 prospects. Awesome. Fucking awesome. That's cool. That's cute. That's cute. That's awesome to know. That's great to know.
Yeah. So
yeah.
That's what happens, man. But then it's one of those things where it's like if the Yankees pick up the phone, like, hey, how much for Tyler Ward? Is Ben Rice available? That's what it comes. Get out of here, bro. Like, hang up the phone, bro. That's what happens. People think the Yankee tax isn't real, dude. It's real. I'm telling you that stuff is real, bro.
You know, I wore my Yankee hockey jersey because I thought it would bring us some luck on the stream. You know, I brought, took this out of storage. You know, I thought it would bring us some type of luck. It hasn't so far. But hey, it's free promotion for the New York Yankees because you're looking at me and you got 3 Yankee logos on the stream. 4 if you include
1, 2, 3, 4.
1, 2, 3.
Even my guy Herbie's rocking the Yankee hat. What are we doing, man? Like, what are we doing, bro? That's a Marvel and a Yankee. Like, we got 2 big conglomerates that need to get it together. Come on.
Oh man.
All right. Everything Yankees posted. They're not big, but they're usually like accurate. Damn, I just lost it. Was told Yankees worried about Adley Rutschman's medicals on Rutschman.
That's I got it right here from Everything Yankees. I'll share it on the screen. But yeah, basically what you said, it was told. Hold on, got it right here. It was told that the Yankees were worried about the medicals on Adley Rutschman. Yeah, and that's pretty reasonable. It's pretty reasonable if the asking price was, and again, I'm just speculating, but according to the report earlier, if they were asking for Carlos Lagrange and the medical records are very suspect, as much as we need a catcher, as much as we need a starting catcher, it sucks that Adley Rutschman is with the Boston Red Sox. He was an all-star this year. It sucks that he's not in our lineup, but if that was the asking price and his medicals gave you some type of worries, I can't be that mad at the Yankees not trading Carlos Lagrange.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and this is pretty much what this day is going to be. A bunch of everybody watching Twitter, everybody watching something to try to get some sort of update, and we're glad that you guys are here with us. We appreciate you guys as we have almost 800 people in the building. If you guys are watching on Twitter, come over to the YouTube, show us some love over here, subscribe. We are almost at 6K. Let's get us there, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, hit that like, but also too, Ace, the Yankees play later today?
Yeah, they'll be live today.
Let them know what time you'll be live for one of the best watch alongs, if not the best Yankee watch along on YouTube, in my opinion.
Appreciate that. I'll be live tonight, 7 o'clock. I'm going to drop the link down below so you guys can go ahead and follow the channel. I just hit over 3K on that one. I'll be live tonight. The stream's not set up yet, but it will be. I'll be live tonight, 7 o'clock, Yankees versus Cardinals, where it's going to be it's either going to be one of these streams today. It's either going to be, yo, the Yankees knocked it out of the park, or it's going to be, what did these motherfuckers do again? That's what it's going to be. We're doing nothing because being right after the deadline, everybody's going to want to talk about it. So
again, I just pinned your channel link as well. It's just I have to wait to see what the return is from the Red Sox before I could fully judge it, because I was there at the winter meetings, and right when the trades conversation was heating up for Ketel Marte to the Red Sox, it's just the Red Sox just didn't want to include any of their top like 3 prospects. So I know we know the Boston Red Sox to be stingy when it comes to trading their prospects. It's going to be interesting to see who they gave up in order to get Adley Rutschman, because if the return for Adley Rutschman is not any top 30 prospects, just like Taylor Ward for the Seattle, which I don't think is definitely going to be like top 20, top 10 prospects. If they're low level prospects, then I'm going to be pissed off at Brian Cashman.
Yeah, it also depends on, like, even though with baseball, it's not like football or basketball where you'll trade for a need. You'll still take on a guy, but sometimes it's like, yo, if we got a bunch of shortstops, we don't need a shortstop. Let me go get a catcher, like, or a catching prospect that we need. So it's just going to depend on what was given up. Now, like a couple years ago when Corbin Burns was traded to the Orioles, they gave up nothing. They gave up guys that, you know, they flipped immediately. But the Boston Red Sox are always in the same boat where they'll trade for a guy away and then trade those guys. They trade for those guys away. Now they're buying. Crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's frustrating, but there's still some pieces in play. It may not be the big sexy pieces, but Tyler Stevenson, he's still in play. Luke Weaver from the Mets, he's still in play. I know he has an extra year of control for cheap money too. It's not going to cost you that much, so the Mets may be asking for a little bit more for him, especially in this reliever market where the pool is shrinking. But there's still some pieces that are in play for the New York Yankees and for Brian Cashman. It may not be the big move like Adley Rutschman, but there's still some pieces that will help upgrade this team significantly.
I think we got our big move already in Luis García Jr. People don't want to hear that, but I think we got our big move.
You think that's the big? That's the big.
I think. So when you mean standpoint, I think that's the big move from the bat standpoint. Like, who else is out there? Catcher, Jeffers. I mean, you got to add a catcher bat wise. Like, I'm not saying we're done. We have to add a catcher. If you add a catcher with Luis García Jr. and then you go get either If you go get Luke Weaver or Adrian Morejon, or you add a bullpen guy, I think we're good to go. But you also got to go ahead and call up George Lombard Jr. Stop messing around with Volpe at shortstop. You're filling some holes. We can't fill up every hole, dude. We're not. It's literally going to be impossible.
Shout out to UN Wolf on Twitch, who's watching us on Twitch. Appreciate you for the Twitch sub and the Twitch watch. Said John Heyman just reported the Red Sox are moving closer to Adley Rutschman, but it's not technically done. With it not being technically done, we've seen trades be announced at the trade deadline and then fall through. The most famous one was Manny Ramirez to the New York Yankees at the trade deadline. I think it was back in 2008. It didn't happen, and he wound up getting traded to the White Sox, I think, after the Dodgers. I don't know, but I remember there was a trade deadline where it was announced that Manny Ramirez was going to the Yankees, and at the last second, it got nixed, and he went to the White Sox. So anything can happen. Like, anything can happen at the last second. He went to Cleveland.
Manny Ramirez, Cleveland, then Boston.
Oh, okay. Anything? No, I'm talking about when he went from Boston to the Dodgers. Like after the Dodgers, there was a trade that was in place that it was announced he was coming to the Yankees, but he went to the White Sox instead. So yeah, so anything can happen.
Yeah, John Boyd tweeted, said the last time the Yankees walked away from a deal due to medicals they didn't love was Jack Flaherty in 2024. He went up to the Dodgers and won a World Series.
Wait, with Jack.
Last
2024. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, 2024. I thought you said 2004. Yeah.
Oh, I might have said 2004. Sometimes I do that. 2024.
Yeah.
Quickly. It's just, what are you going to do from this point on? Because like, unless it's something that we don't foresee, like no one foresee Luis Garcia Jr. Unless it's going to be something that we don't foresee and a big move is made, you gotta make the right moves at this point instead of the big moves. So
Luis Robert Jr. apparently is on the move. They don't know what team, but he most likely will be getting traded later on today. I don't want him if I'm the Yankees. I'm good.
Jr.? Nah,
Yeah, I'm good with that. 100%. I'm good off that. But Luke Weaver, I guess.
But the problem with Luke Weaver is I've seen that already. I've seen this here already. Same thing with like if you went and got Clay Holmes back. I've seen this already. We've been down this road. Like, is it going to end differently? Possibly, but we've seen that. So it's just like I don't know, man.
So it may not be the Yankees acquire a player within the next 30 minutes. It's just going to be me and Ace fucking boo-hooing and crying for the next.
Well, we can talk about how great Spider-Man was.
Oh, yeah, we can talk about that. That was an awesome movie. No spoilers. We're not going to have no spoilers because we have some people in the chat, in the community, and a part of our squad that didn't see it yet, so no spoilers. But if you haven't seen Spider-Man, I do recommend you seeing Spider-Man. I'm just going to point my finger at you. That's what I'm going to do.
What unites New Yorkers bet more, the Knicks championship or Spider-Man?
What you mean? What
unites New Yorkers more, the Knicks or Spider-Man?
The Knicks all day. The Knicks all day. I'm sorry. The Knicks all day.
I don't know, man. It could be Spider-Man. So,
oh man,
they said they're crying here too. We get it. I mean, it's to the point where it's look, it's nut up or shut up time. It's as simple as that for Cashman. Like, what are you going to do, dude? Like, and this deadline is now. Granted, we talked about it all the time. Cashman might be inquiring. You know, we talked about it last week. He's a window shopper. You mad at me? I think I know why. He's looking at everybody, but not really buying anything. But it does take the right team to say, okay, you know, but how many times do we see, and we see it in free agency all the time, where teams use the Yankees to up the price on somebody else? It happens. Double A says, Boone got to go yesterday.
Brother.
Yep. Be careful with the music. Definitely he'll copyright for that. It's crazy. But you know, you can inquire about a lot of people, but you got to go out there and make a move. Sometimes it's got to hurt. Whenever you're giving up, if I'm Boone, I mean, if I'm Cashman and them, and Rutschman's on the deal, call him up again and say, you know what, let's sweeten it a little bit more. Sometimes it's got to hurt, and sometimes you got to stick it to your rivals. That's what George would have done. George was like, wait, who's going where? No, he's not. And
to Boston too, bro. And to Boston. And to, like I said, if this was the Tampa Bay Rays, okay, the Tampa Bay Rays. But this is your heated rival, the Boston Red Sox. And we know that owner in Boston, he's cheap. Mm-hmm. And for him to okay you trading for Adley Rutschman to get him away from the Yankees, again, I have to see what the return is. I have to see what Boston gave up for me to fully judge this. But it sucks.
Someone made a good point on Twitter saying Tommy Edman and Jack Flaherty had the same problems with the injuries that Yankees had problems with, right? And but they were cool with getting Frankie Montas.
Yeah.
So what is it? What is it? When are you okay with it and when it's not? And that backfired. Tommy Edman and Jack Flaherty helped lead them to a championship. Mm-hmm. What did Frankie Montas do here? Not a damn thing.
Also, too, you got to remember, we traded for Harrison Bader, who was on the IL. He was injured for about 2 or 3 weeks before we even got him in the lineup. This is what I said. This is what I said earlier. This is why I think I would have pulled the trigger on Rutschman, because you have other options available too, and that gives you the opportunity to have your cake and eat it too, because you love Austin Wells so much. So you could have slow rolled Rutschman out there, giving him time to work with the pitching staff, everything. Mm-hmm. The Yankees just be doing shit, man. Now I'm starting to get annoyed. No, now I'm getting annoyed because now the emotions are not the emotions, but the illogical Yankee fan is fading away, and now like the content creator is tuning in. And when you brought up Frankie Montas, that upset me, and me remembering Harrison Bader upset me even more. Like, we've traded for pitchers that were injured. We brought in on Clay Holmes, who was a reclamation project. He worked out for you. We traded for Aroldis Chapman, coming off of domestic violent issues. Like, you decided to trade for him coming off of DV, but for some reason You don't like the medicals on Adley Rutschman when you desperately need a catcher, when you desperately have to upgrade that position. That don't make no sense.
It's because of Austin Wells. Because they're like, we could maybe afford to not make this move because Wells, he's playing better. He's got the goatee.
I did like his tribute to Thurman, Thurman Munson. I did like that tribute, but that's it. That was all cute. But it's like defensively, our catching situation this year is not bad because of our defense. It's because we're not getting anything offensively from any of our catchers. That's the issue. If Austin Wells was hitting 220 or 230, this conversation would not be as emotional or be as heavy because he's hitting 230 and he's being productive. He's not giving you anything productively offensive wise. And I take it back. He has 14 RBIs. Giancarlo Stanton has 10. I'm sorry. I just got that stat wrong.
Yeah. Mark Feinstead just said the Rangers are taking calls from teams about any player on their roster. Don't tell Grace that. You know who she's going to want to call up and get a piece.
Yeah. Josh Young. We need Josh Young. ASAP. We need Josh Young.
He'd be an upgrade at third.
I'll tell you, if the Yankees trade for Josh Young, but we still have Austin Wells, I think Grace would be okay. I think the only way that Austin Wells is safe on this team from Grace is if we get Josh Young.
Because she'll be happy that she got her boy, and she'll put up with Austin Wells' bullshit. If you get breaking news, Yankees trade for Josh Young, the group chat is going off. You know wherever she's at, she's stopping what she's doing. Love you, Grace. We love Grace.
Grace, we love you. We miss you so much. But no, 100%.
She might say drop the link, and wherever she's at, she's gonna come on.
Exactly.
Like, I tried to tell you guys for years. The Yankees didn't listen to me. Finally, they listened.
If that happens, I would be so happy for just Grace. I wouldn't be happy for the Yankees. I'd just be happy for my bestie Grace. That's it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he'd be a better upgrade offensively over Ryan McMahon, no doubt. But it's just like it's not really. It's this. This is what sucks. This is what sucks. McMahon, Wells, Volpe. We're just happy with guys that are upgrades because they have set the bar so damn low. And Grisham too. Where we're like, you know what? Grisham's batting 220. And if we get a guy that bats 230, it's better. Like, is it? Is it? Austin Wells is batting 160 something. We got a catcher that's batting 190. It's better than Wells.
They're going. There's how can I say this? Humor is some of the best form of medicine. So us laughter is a good form of medicine. So we're just trying to laugh to replace this pain that we're getting from the New York Yankees. I got a video actually from Sean Marash from WFAN going off, and I always love his rants. So I'm gonna just play it real quick.
They sucked me back in. This stupid Yankee team sucked me back in with Luis García Jr. You're going to allow the biggest need and the biggest name available to go to your rival that's nipping at your heels? And I'm supposed to believe that the playoffs are just a crapshoot? Enough with the lifetime commitment to Brian Cashman. Don't worry, though. We'll get a reliever that will suck. Don't worry. Don't worry. Tyler Stevenson will come here and he'll hit 210 the moment he arrives. Don't worry. Adley Rutschman will be banging homers off Max Fried, and we're going to be going home and going, well, what time's the Giant Commander game? Because this season's over. It sucks, man. It's one thing not to get schoolball. Act like the Yankees. Now you're not even acting like the Cubs. The Red Sox are on the Yankees' ass. And Brian Cashman's sitting there going, oh, LeGron, I can't possibly do that. I mean, geez.
Ain't wrong.
Fake laugh, hiding real pain.
That's a great punch.
You know what that's from, right?
Yeah.
Oh man, it's just that's all you could do, man. It's just because he's not wrong. First of all, Sean Marash, cool as shit. Would love to have him on the channel too.
Facts.
He's not right. I mean, he's not wrong. Like, act like the Yankees. Let's move around and this is what people always harp back to as far as Hal is not George. Like, would this happen? No, I hate to continue to say that, but it's just like. Cashman, the Yankees do sit here and think that the playoffs are a crapshoot. They're like, if we get in and the right circumstances fall, chips fall where they may, we're good. But it doesn't always do that. Stack the deck, bro. Like,
Yeah.
you're gonna really let Adley Rutschman, who's under control as well, go to the Red Sox? And even if he doesn't hurt you this year, it could bite you in the ass next year. Like, what are we doing, bro?
You allow the Boston Red Sox to get better in the immediate and in their future. Because now they have Adley Rutschman, regardless of what happens with their catcher. But I felt the same way as the Yankees. The Yankees may not have a long-term solution behind the plate, but what Adley Rutschman provides you, he provides you at least 2 to 3 years of a stopgap for you to figure out your long-term solution behind the plate. And the Yankees, they saw that opportunity, but they just weren't able to capitalize on it and pull the trigger on making a deal. And I get it. You don't want to give up your top prospects, but when it's your in-division rival, when it's the Boston Red Sox, you have to do everything in your power, not only to upgrade your team, but to stop them from upgrading their roster as well. Because like Sean Morass said, the Boston Red Sox are on your ass. They are on your ass. And we woke them up when we went into Fenway and we thought that Cam was just going to go in there and dominate. We got swept. And that revitalized them, that brought them back to life, that gave them a jolt of energy. And it was after they fired Alex Cora. And you just allowed the Boston Red Sox to get back in the wild card race and in the division race. Because now their roster is 100 times better than what it was when they woke up this morning.
White Sox got Brenton Doyle. So, I mean, I feel like that meme of the guy with the stick, like, and the Yankees, come on, do something like that. I feel like teams are making moves, and I feel like we're like Squidward looking outside, like it's SpongeBob and Patrick dancing. But I mean, it's tough because like you also have to keep in consideration you did get Luis García Jr. So it's not like the Yankees aren't doing anything. They did that yesterday. If that was something that just broke now, it'd be a different feeling. It's like, oh, okay, yeah, but we've had 24 hours to sit on it. A little part of us is we're being selfish Yankee fans, especially with like this Adley going to, like Sean said, Adley going to the Red Sox does put a dimmer on Luis Garcia Jr. because this is the guy. This was more of a need than what we had.
Yeah,
and you're letting it slip through your fingers to your division rival that you woke up.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Eddie Trinidad, shout out to my guy Eddie Trinidad in the chat who says, am I wrong for holding out for a miracle? Mason Miller, Fernando Tatis Jr., Morijan, and Campensano. Yeah, brother.
Whatever it is that you got, send some over here, brother.
Yeah.
That's some good stuff, brother.
Yeah.
You're talking about for Miller alone would clear the farm. Miller alone, you're talking about Tatis, like Morijan,
and Campensano.
You're talking
brother,
about
I have a better chance of growing my hair back than the Yankees acquiring those four players.
You gotta give up your firstborn too. All that stuff, like that's a lot. Miller alone is clearing out the deck. You're not getting Tatis for that. You wouldn't even see a move like that. Like you can't even make that an MLB The Show. They don't have enough slots for that.
Nope. The Twin Strike reporters, let's hope for nothing so we can't get too disappointed. Absolutely. My girlfriend always tells me that. Get ready, be ready so you don't have to get ready. Double A, shout out to Double A, Theo Double A in the chat, who tell me why, Hector, make it make sense with Schumann. Listen, we agree with you. Everything that you've been saying about Schumann this entire show in the chat, we agree with you 100%, Double A.
Yeah. And nice little Spider-Man reference right here. Nice little No Way Home reference there. But it's just it's the sitting on your you're watching moves being made. We got to just wait and see. Like we're irritated now. It's almost 1:00. We're irritated now. You got 5 more hours to either be stewing in it and being irritated. And if the Yankees do something, you're like, okay, you know what? It is what like, yeah, okay. Cashman had a solid deadline. Okay. Cashman needs to have a B+ deadline or higher. You can't have anything less with everything that's going on. So you got to go get yourself a cat. The only way to get a B+ or A deadline from here, go get yourself a catcher, go get yourself a bullpen arm, and George Lombard Jr. needs to be on the first thing smoking to New York. Like, forget about and this is what scares me. Yankees not doing much and then saying, here's Lombard Jr. Like, you guys are going to like it. Like, you guys are going to have this and love it. But it's just one of those things where you got to make the right moves at this point, man. Like forget the what is it? The service time.
Mhm.
I don't care about that. I don't care if you want him to be in rookie of the year next year so you get a draft pick. So you get a draft pick that's 5 years from not being in the league. Bro, we're gonna be in our 40s when that happens, bro, when that guy gets up here. Come on,
Facts.
man.
The Pinstripe Bugle. Shout out to my guy Evan, who says last year, I could be wrong, but Cash got both Caballero and Rosario plus Duvall in the last 2 hours.
No. We got Caballero before when we played the Rays. It wasn't at the deadline. We got Rosario before. Duvall was the last minute.
Yeah.
And then keep in mind, we got McMahon before, like a week or two before the deadline.
We got Rosario and Duvall on the same day. I think Bednar happened late Sunday and Caballero happened during the game on Sunday. Because that's sort of because the deadline is always on Monday. It's never on the weekend. So the Yankees last year, the Sunday before the deadline on Monday is when they got Caballero. And then Bednar came in later on that night. And then the next day, Rosario and Duvall. I'm not sure when Rosario and Duvall happened, but I know it was the day of the trade deadline.
I do know Duvall was the last. He was like the buzzer beater.
Yeah, because Jake Bird came first. I was on with the New York Post when we got Jake Bird, and then immediately we got Duvall. And I was happy. I was like, oh, snap. I was super happy when we got Duvall. That ain't work out.
Buster only just reported the Red Sox and Orioles have a deal arranged for Adley Rutschman. Prospects / medicals set. Red Sox just need to say yay or nay. So they have a deal in place. I want to see what the prospects are. That's what I want to see.
Same.
But yeah, we ended up getting, remember, we got Duvall when we played them because then he came right over. And he remember the Yankees made a big deal about him saying goodbye. And it was like they panned it on the dugout. And he's like, I got traded to everybody. They're like, who? Over there.
Wait, to Caballero or Duvall?
Caballero.
Caballero. Okay.
Got traded when we played them.
Yeah. I'm looking at the Red Sox top prospects, and I'm trying to compare it with MLB top 100 prospects just to see where the Red Sox land. And the Red Sox, Franklin Arias, which is their top prospect, he's the 7th best prospect in baseball. They have one top 20 prospect. Anthony, okay, so they have 2 top 50. I'm just trying to see how many top 100. They have 3 top 80. So the Red Sox have 3 top 100 prospects. And their third is basically him and LaGrange. LaGrange is 78, and Justin Gonzalez, the outfielder, is 80. So we have to see what the Red Sox gave up. If the Red Sox start the conversation with Justin Gonzalez, then you could tell that the Orioles wanted LaGrange.
So help me if, because some smaller people online are saying like the Yankees, reluctant to go after a big catcher because of their belief in Austin Wells. And they said that. They came out and said that, like, we still value what he has defensively. So help me, Hector, if that's the case, bro. Like,
if that's the case, I don't think we would have heard at that as much chatter when it comes to the Yankees and Adley Rutschman. Because if the Yankees wholeheartedly believed in Austin Wells as their everyday starting catcher going forward, I think the Yankees would prioritize like a Stevenson. You would have heard more rumors with more of the backup catchers than somebody like an Adley Rutschman that's going to cost you more because he's an all-star, he's an in-division rival, and he's just a better player than any of the other ones.
We got to do something, man.
All right. Well, it's 1 o'clock. We tried to milk it as much as possible. Any last PSA, any last messages for the folks in the chat, brother?
Yeah, we'll be live later today. Just gotta have faith, man, at the end of the day. Just gotta hope Cashman decides to make the right decisions and do what you gotta do to make this team better, because guess what? There might be no next year. So you gotta come out here and handle your business, man, and do what you gotta do. And that's pretty much it.
Keep hope alive. Like Ace said, we will be live later on today Keep also, if you're following me on Twitter, I'll let you know when I'll be live with the New York Post because they reached out to me to have me on for a segment as well. Let's shout out the chat before we get out of here. Eddie Trinidad, I appreciate you. Chef Jersey 31, thank you for being in the chat. Theo AA was in the building. My guy, the Pinstripe Google, salute. Theo AA, thank you for the super chats. David Cohen, thank you for the 199 and the 499. The Twin Stripe Reporters, shout out to you guys. Li Yankee King, thank you so much. Jacob Petruzzi, who is in the chat, thank you. Theo Nosebleed section, Drew So Nasty in the building, Buck Skull Gang, Eddie Trinidad, thank you so much. Smash or Pass, Air Re Carry 5290, Kelvin Jenkins, thank you so much. TC Stills, my brother. If I didn't say your name, I do apologize. But until next time, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and you'll be tuned in to a next episode of the Yankees
Morning Brew.
I think I got it correct this way because it mirrors me. Yeah,
no, he's just doing the Jazz Chisholm when he goes to home.
That's what it is. That's what it is. And I'm pointing my finger at you. If you know, you know. But just know, Yanks Morning Brew, Uptown Sports TV will be back later today for a 5 p.m. trade deadline show. So tune in. The open panel will be back. But until next time, Yankee fans, salute, drink some waters, go outside and touch some grass. And the end is not over. Oh, I got this last little video that I wanted to share. And this message is more for you, Ace, because you're a content creator like me and everybody that's in the chat. I want to share this message with y'all.
Top of the morning, ain't no money in the bed. Baby, wake that ass up. Understand this. The world does not reward intentions. It rewards results. Nobody's going to ask you how hard it was. Nobody's going to ask you how unfair it felt. Nobody's going to ask how many times you failed. They will ask you one simple question. Did you win? So you must be willing to get it by any means. Refuse to quit when that plan breaks. Adjust to life when life isn't playing fair. If that front door is locked, you don't complain. You just find another entrance.
Absolutely. Use that for some morning motivation.
I hope Cashman was listening to that.
Good. Top of the morning, wake your ass up, Brian Cashman. We out of here. Bye.